What's up, party people? The place to be on a Friday. Shout out to everybody getting in here. We getting in here somewhat on time. We want to be like, 5 minutes behind or whatnot, but we here. How you doing on this Friday, Coop?
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man, we've had a very riveting, I'd say, week and a half, really, with all of these releases and, with KD3 turning out the way it turned out, and these publications running and hiding and stuff. It's interesting, man. I read a comment. Somebody was like, y'all care too much about what publications say. It's me cracking up with the drink right here. I was like, I didn't respond to it. My thing is though, the problem is when you don't care, and then this message gets out there and people run amok, and that's when you have to deal with years and years of false narratives.
I'm listening to what I'm about to say, and I'm very, very serious when I say this. Well, that's what they said about Hitler.
And like a OG of mine.
And Napoleon.
Yeah. Like an OG of mine always told me, Star, shout out to the Star Report. He said, a lie unchallenged becomes the truth.
Correct.
And that's just how it goes, And anybody who has a problem with us, challenging, not even just quote unquote lies, but just challenging perspectives, you may be an agent.
It's very problematic out here now, isn't it?
And I have no problem with you challenging our perspectives, but I think that the fact that we're supposed to just ignore things, because what happens is, you one day you wake up, you see a corny song where a guy's like, "Hi, my name is," and then you wake up and say nothing else, and they get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame early. Really, let's keep it real, guys. And for everybody who was calling me a racist and a hater and all that stuff, did y'all really think the guy with the "Hi, my name is" song was gonna get ranked higher than Snoop Dogg one day? Did y'all really think that? Now, when I first heard "Get At Me, Dog," if you would have told me that guy, I would have been like, okay, I could see that. You know what I mean? JY with the super chat says, "What up, fellas? Still heavily bumping KD3. Bought the digital album after I heard the line, 'What's the cost of a CD when 1,500 plays is one sale?'" Man. Well, yeah. I'm glad everybody's out here streaming that.
I want to say less. I've said plenty.
Again, man, I still don't know how any of that equates. I really don't. And, I'd be lying to you if I told you I did. I'm very knowledgeable about the music industry and how music works and how sales and marketing works. And I'm pretty sure most people out there don't really understand how this works either. But I'm just going to be completely honest. In the streaming era, I don't know how any of this stuff equates. I don't know how it equates that Nicki Minaj has more Billboard hits than Aretha Franklin. I just don't understand it. It just...
Well, there's two parts to that. First of all, there's three parts to it, at least in my personal opinion. First of all, it's very problematic. The whole system's very problematic. Second of all, I've pretty much figured out the best way that you can support the artists that you love is to literally bump their shit in your social media life. And that's been my biggest takeaway from this. It's like, don't just like cop the merch and the sale. Like, do that if you feel the need to. Like, today I did a reel and legit was the reel. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Those are the things. That's what I've come to understand, because I don't understand everything just yet. I'm no expert,
So does that count for just you, or does that count for everybody it reaches?
I believe it counts for everybody it reaches.
Okay, because I know when we do things like that.
That's why when you do your dashboard and it says accounts reached and and how many plays and views.
Yeah, because like on According to Hip Hop, we can play something and then it'll reach like 70,000 people in a day, like on our Instagram and Facebook or whatever. So I don't really know how that works. Maybe I should have been doing some of that too, but still.
Well, maybe we need to inquire first.
Yeah, definitely. Marquez Davis with the super chat says KD3 is still 93 on Metacritic. think we all agree that it was one of the best rap albums of all time. That is what the narrative will be. I agree with that. And again, somebody brought up the degree of difficulty when it comes to Stillmatic and the fact that he was, it was basically a comeback album. It was after Nostradamus. It was after, Jay and them were coming at him. But this is a little different to me because I will say this. At least on this one, we can say he was catching a rhythm. And Magic had me feeling like, okay, well, the next one's about to be crazy. And the way that they just kept gelling better and better. So those are the advantages that he had this time around. But the challenge is you're nearly 30 years in the game. And it's highly anticipated. And the other three were received very well. So that's pressure too when you're coming off such well-received efforts.
I told you, Mike, it's like Barry Sanders coming back out and busting 50-yard runs again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know when Nas has a great album on his hands when the publications are scared to review it.
They don't know what to do. They
That's
feel
the thing.
So...
I haven't seen... Pitchfork Media is still... Well, I call them Pitchfork Media. I think they're just Pitchfork now. But Pitchfork is... they're missing in action. Rolling Stone's missing in action. And I know in the previous efforts, they were writing up these articles very quickly. And I think that the people have gotten on their ass to the point where I guess they would rather just not write a review than give a good review. And that's a problem, too.
No, I get... Well, why is it a problem? Why is it a problem?
The mentality is a problem. The problem is you're incapable of actually giving props to an artist for making a dope album.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
Well, my problem, it's some of like your mama said, if you don't have anything nice to say, then shut the hell up.
But see, that's in a situation where there's nothing nice to say. You can't even tell somebody. That's like, you see somebody that beautiful woman, whatever, she come through looking great. You can't tell her she looks good. but you're quick to tell her when she looks horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this?
I feel you.
I feel you. Andrew Green with the super chat says Hit Boy in the interview said that he thought KD3 was finished at 14 songs, but Nas challenged him to do a few more. Hit did beats for On Fire, WTF, SMH, and the bonus track that Nas flew in on tour and recorded. Jay Short with the super chat says, tinfoil Koofy hat last week. After Jack Harlow kind of flopped, you think 21 Savage was told to make Drake hot again and be forced to do a collaborative album? Tinfoil Koofy, I don't know if that's a bad tinfoil Koofy. I'd say this. Drake clearly was sent in to solidify Jack Harlow. And when that didn't work, maybe they thought that, you know what? Got to get Drake's street cred back a little bit. And, and pump up 21 at the same time because he ain't really had nothing going on either. Jay Short says, news leaked of a new Beyonce/Jay-Z album. Petty. Did you see that?
I just saw it in the past, 2 hours.
Okay, well, to speak on that before we get into the Busta Rhymes thing.
What say you? Please feel free to have at it. It is funny how.
Do you want me to be really, really honest here? Do y'all really, really want me to be honest?
I personally like it when you're honest. That's the way relationships and business partnerships and friendships, things of that nature should go, I feel.
Well, I kind of called it on this Beyonce effort. I thought that, obviously the numbers may say something different. Who knows? I haven't been tracking it. But I think we all can say, of all of Beyonce's efforts, this is probably the least fanfare that we've received from the music itself. Because obviously the push was there and all of that. And I think that in the world of Beyonce, and don't kill me, Beyonce fans, this is a flop, right? So from what I'm hearing, there is 3 acts. Yeah, there's 3 actual parts to this album. So you got this part, and then the second part is going to be an acoustic album or acoustic project or whatever. And then the third one is going to be her and Jay. Um, and this news leaked by some guy
Well,
who said that he wanted to get this off before Twitter self-destruct or whatever people think.
like the
Twitter's not
like
going anywhere, guys. Go ahead.
like the Aaliyah song, Mike. Well, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself
I'm
off.
gonna be
Try.
real. I didn't dislike Everything Is Love, even though it came out like the same day Nasir came out or whatever. But I didn't dislike the album. I thought it was cool.
Very shady.
I thought, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I thought that I liked that Jay-Z better than I liked the 444 Jay-Z. He at
Oh
least,
yes, no, give me that guy. No,
yeah,
give me
because
that guy.
he was at least on his arrogant shit. He was on his,
Snore.
he sounded like Jay-Z again to me on that album. I will say that. But at this point, the GOAT talk is, it's all the way in Nas's favor. And I just feel like to change any of those courses or any of those narratives, another album of Beyonce is just not going to help. And I feel like we're going to end up getting the On the Run Tour Part 3. And it's like, it feels like, and I'm just going to be honest, man. It feels like musically, he needs her now more than he ever has. And he's never had to lean on her in this way. And it's not really a great look in the GOAT talk sense. Now, if you're just chilling and doing whatever, cool. But if you're going to do another album with your wife, which is great, probably have all kind of fun doing that. It doesn't enter in the GOAT conversation with what's going on right here. And you're going to need your own effort to offset that. You just are. I'm not interested in it. I don't think it's a great move as a Jay-Z fan first. I'm more of a fan of them individually as opposed to together. And I've always told you, I just don't feel like they make great stuff together. I think the best song they made together might be, my favorite is Deja Vu, but it might actually be Drunken Love. That might be the song where both of them were able to be who they are.
Drunken Love?
I think it might be their best song together. No, not Crazy. I think Crazy in Love is overrated.
You don't like Upgrade You?
Not really. I don't. I know
Jay's
people
flow
like
is pretty sick on Upgrade You, Mike. His flow is pretty sick.
No, he was spitting on that.
I call audibles.
Is that his best verse collaborating with her?
I think so. The flow is disgusting on there.
You didn't like him on Deja Vu?
Not the flow is disgusting on Upgrade You.
Okay. What do the people in the chat think? Let me get to Marquez Davis. He says, Mike, did you hear the Joe Budden podcast? I did not. I need to listen to that.
What happened to the Joe Budden podcast?
They're talking about what they had to say about KD3. Because people were saying that Joe Budden said he was a better rapper, a better lyricist than Nas and all that stuff. I need to
He said at one point he was, though. That is what he said.
Okay. Mike H with the super chat says, if Kendrick wrote B, the world would have stopped. We need to talk Kendrick today too, because we also while I was getting hate mail about my soliloquy on Eminem in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you were getting some hate mail about your stance on Kendrick and his album. Yes, and always
nobody
going
cares about how you feel about this mid-ass album. I keep on telling y'all, like, I don't care. Y'all can ride me all you want. This album is whack.
We were being accused of treating Kendrick the same way the Rolling Stone treats Nas.
Oh, no. Rolling Stone treats Nas like he makes bad music when he makes classic music. We treat Kendrick like he's making bad music because he just made bad music. I don't understand what the difference. Like you understand that? You have trouble comprehending that?
We got to get to that.
I mean, Mike, because there's still an article that you can still put up, like, again, whenever you like, or I'm pretty sure it's on the archives of the According to Hip Hop website.
Yeah, we'll put that on
Twitter. Where I can actually have an article where I consider Kendrick's top 10 status all time based on his efforts.
Yeah, you wrote that.
So I've been very fair based on output, and I didn't say that he wasn't great. I just said this album's not any good. Both things can be true. Like, he can still be great and be one of the greatest of all time, and this album can still not be that good.
I think it hurts worse when you put out an album like this and you get 8 nominations for it. Because
It
I
was
felt
very
like that.
problematic. I'm trying to wonder what got nominated.
You know me, I'm a Janelle Monáe fan. Like I've been rocking with Janelle Monáe since before she even got the deal, right? When she was putting
No, I
out
remember.
EPs and when she was doing local stuff, and
I
when she
remember.
put out Arc Android, amazing album, clearly slept on or whatever, and then she a couple years later, Electric Lady. It's kind of like, okay, more people know her now. This is a good balance of her core sound and some mainstream stuff. And
But
then
it's
she
not the
went to
same.
acting, right? And then, and then did a whole break. And then that last album that she put out, I thought that by far it was the weakest effort she ever put out. But it was still cool because it's her. She's a talented artist. That's the album that got nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys. And when you're an artist and you know that you didn't put forth your best effort and it gets the most adulation, how does that feel? Because the fans know the real. Like, the fans want to be proud of you, but it's like, that's not the album that should have gotten that adulation. NDU Jam says, what's up? Been bumping KD3 nonstop. I got a lot to say. I gotta say, they definitely know how to capture the best moments in the song. Did y'all notice the KD3 and the Blueprint 3 album covers are slightly similar with the 3 Roman numeral? Yeah, it's just
I saw that on Twitter.
somebody said
Twitter still
Nas
exists. I
copies
haven't been on
Jay-Z
in a
too.
couple hours. Does Twitter still exist?
Yeah, Twitter's always
Still
gonna
up?
exist.
I'm
Yeah.
still up. Okay. Cool.
Kendall Outlaw with the super chat says
Yes.
top 5 Nas albums. It was written, KD3, Illmatic, Streets Disciple, and Magic. Interesting. What I was gonna say though about that Roman numeral 3 thing, who do you think came up with that album cover? Was that more of a Jay thing or more of a Kanye thing? You think? Because Kanye is the executive producer of that album as well.
I never really even had a reason to think about it until now, and that's kind of where I think I'm going to leave it.
And I think that
Like, we can't compare every damn thing. You know what I mean?
well, yeah. I'm just gonna say I think that the Blueprint 3 was a lot of Kanye. I think it was a lot of Kanye from a creative standpoint. It's the first album that he released where he wasn't on the cover, where his face wasn't on the cover.
Fascinating.
It's a Kanye thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeezy taught me.
yeah, 36 Chambers with a super chat said, "Hey Coop, I got banned from YouTube. What? I get banned in YouTube and I can't super chat on the main account. If so, let me know please what I can do. Also, KD3 on the replay all week. 30,000 is low. Well, what you also can do, and we appreciate the love. We got a Cash App here, so you can do the dollar sign according to hip hop. I got my phone right here. We'll go ahead and read everything that's on the Cash App. We definitely appreciate the Cash Apps and stuff too. Let's see.
We actually are encouraging the Cash App more because, when
Ain't
you
no
super
middleman.
chat, yeah, super chat, when you
Yeah.
super chat, YouTube takes 30% of your super chat.
Yeah, when YouTube start hating, what I'm saying, on you guys and not letting you push it through, make sure you hit that Cash App and, what I'm saying, we'll get that right on. Is this
30%.
Talib?
Lee Steinberg's not getting 30%. Mike David Falk's not getting 30%. Rich Paul's not getting 30%. But okay, go ahead,
Oh
Mike.
yeah, that's
Continue.
that high-end management. Talib says, Coop, we need a Mama's Gun versus Voodoo Day. Also, Jay never thought Nas was coming back outside after the Nasir album. Joe Budden did give KD3 mad love. That's what's up.
That's good.
Mad Max to the super chat says, I wanna say thank you, Dave East. Book of Dave was fire. And to answer the question, Cole had verse of the year. Can't wait to get to the verse of the year talk. Did you get a chance to listen to some of that Dave East?
I've gotten into some of it, but I haven't finished it yet because I listened to the Rich Homie Quan, the Roddy Rich, and the Buster, and that pretty much took up all the time between our station head show earlier today.
Yeah, we did an early station head where we did the Thriller versus Off the Wall, man. And tell the people kind of what you got from listening to those albums. Not really back to back. We just basically went one song for one song. So it was like, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and then Want to Be Starting Something. And then, boom, Rock With You, then Baby Be Mine, et cetera, et cetera. What did you get from, us listening to both of those classic Michael Jackson albums like that?
No, all jokes aside, my real take on it after I listened to both of the albums was like, man, Bad's not messing with either one of these albums. It's Off the Wall and Thriller over here, and then we can go to like Bad, Dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
because it's
Dangerous
like
is better than Bad, in my opinion, but,
I know, because there's nothing on Dangerous like Dirty Diana, quite frankly, or The Way You Make Me Feel. There's nothing on that level. Remember the Time's the only record like that, right?
I think Remember the Time is better than The Way You Make Me Feel. I'm with you
It
on
is.
Dirty
I'll give you
Diana.
that. I'll give you
I'm
that.
with you on Dirty Diana, but it still has songs like Give In to Me that aren't that far from Dirty Diana. And you got that Free Willy record, the Will You Be There, epic. There's
I don't
nothing
love
on
the Free Willy
Bad.
record. I
There's
don't love the Free Willy record. I'm just gonna
You
be
don't
honest
like
with
Will You Be There? There's nothing on Bad even touching that
you. Man
record.
in the Mirror. What are you talking
I'm
about?
sorry,
There's
that
nothing
record's
like.
better. Listen, I know Man in the Mirror is iconic,
Are
but
you
that's a
high?
better song than Man in the Mirror.
You're
It
taking
is.
some CBD gummies from our former
I'm
sponsor.
serious, man. No, it's a better song.
Not
It
better
is.
than hold on. Bad has Man in the Mirror.
Uh-huh.
Dirty Diana's a groupie love song, Mike.
Dirty Diana's great. Liberian Girl is great.
Liberian Girl, Mike, that beat.
Yeah, Liberian
Nasty.
Girl is great. Now, that might be the strongest song on Bad, in my opinion.
It's just that the beat is so nasty, Mike. The Liberian Girl. It's that beat. That beat is sick.
He's killing it on there, too. I think
I mean,
that's his
really,
best.
it's Michael
piece of work
Jackson
on
in
there.
'87, so.
Yeah. But yeah, what did you get from listening to both of those albums like that?
No, it's a lot of great stuff. It's mostly his classic stuff because even these songs we're talking about, all the records we just named, I think the only record that we named that's in the category of the records that's on Off the Wall and Thriller is actually Remember the Time. That's that shit, Mike. Remember the Time is a off the wall Thriller type of like song. Like you could put it on Off the Wall or Thriller and it wouldn't be out of place.
I think musically it would, though. I don't think
No, musically, but in terms of like peak Mike, like that's peak Michael Jackson right there. Like Remember the Time is peak Mike. Yeah.
His performance and his just his chord progression and all of that stuff on that record, it matches that energy from those two albums. But I think that, musically, I won't say musically, there's a difference between Bad and Thriller when it comes to musically. It was a drop off, and I think that Bad was made in a performance setting. Like I think Bad was made to perform. It was made for the stage.
And the video, he had changed video. And so he was trying to come up with a new way to change video. Because I tell you what, the biggest problem with Bad's just too long.
You think
so?
Cut
a few of those records. Yeah, just cut a few of the records.
What do you cut? I mean, it wasn't that long.
I don't love Speed Demon, Mike.
I don't love Speed Demon either. I agree with you.
Take it off. That's what I'm saying. You're asking what can we cut? It's like, well, cut that.
I'm with that. I didn't really like Speed Demon like that either. People love Speed Demon.
I don't care. Like it's not that good. Like play Speed Demon, then play Liberian Girl, and tell me why it's on Bad. Right.
What about the record with Stevie Wonder, Just Good Friends?
Just to be honest with you, you can kind of like deluxe that for me. You can deluxe that for me.
I like the song.
It's okay. It's Stevie and Mike though, so you can deluxe that for me since they really didn't do what deluxe it.
I think
I'm saying that respectfully.
As much as I like the song, respectfully, I think that they could have made a better song together. Especially since we just heard.
Nice, you're not feeling nice today, apparently. Just want to disrespect Stevie's still here.
No, but what I was gonna say is, especially since we heard what songs like "Can't Help It" sound like. Like we know what they can do together. I mean, when you got Quincy, Michael, and Stevie on one, that's what "Can't Help It" is.
Yeah, I told you that's why it's my favorite. I told you today it was personally my favorite Michael Jackson.
It's a top 5 Michael song, and honestly, all of his top 5 lie in those two albums. To me, what I heard from listening to those two albums back to back like that, or intertwined like that, was the fact that Thriller was just, from a technical standpoint, a step up. It was like it consciously took things to the next level. I think they may have. Lady in My Life was the ballad, which I think that I like Lady in My Life better than She's Out of My Life. But if you're looking for a record that does what She's Out of My Life does, you don't find that on Thriller. But if you're looking for a record that does what Beat It does, you don't find that on Off the Wall either. So
Right.
I think Thriller found a way to actually do everything that was in his wheelhouse and add some more to it as well. Because, I mean, Human Nature is a 101 too. There's nothing like that. I mean, do you want to compare Human Nature and Can't Help It? Maybe? No?
It still can't help it, and those are
No,
the
Human
comparable
Nature is
songs.
better than Can't Help It. And I love Can't Help It.
No, it's
No,
not.
no, I disagree.
Put up a
Human
poll.
Nature is one of the greatest songs
I want
ever
to take a
made.
poll. I'm not about to argue. I don't even want to argue with you about this because we're going to get totally lost on this show arguing about some Michael Jackson records. Go ahead and put it up for vote in the chat.
Okay, we'll do that. Eric Terrell with the super chat says,
you think Human Nature is better than I Can't Play? No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's
Eric
not.
Terrell with the super chat says, is the melodic hip hop category new to the Grammys? Yeah, I think they added that about 5 years ago. That should be the future category, right? Future need to get some props for that. Cause what is melodic rap without Future? Is it Drake? I don't know. It's either Drake or Future.
Right. So we do have an alternative rap category now. Can we be tossing some of the artists in there? I don't know.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, sorry y'all, I was asking if Coop banned me on YouTube last show. Okay. Wasn't able to chat in, and I thought my main account got banned on Wednesday. No, we didn't do anything.
No.
We don't be banning people, man.
That's that Illuminati.
Freedom of speech here, man. Jermaine Young with the super chat says, Ice was holding it down when Joe was saying Nas didn't have enough leave Earth moments. Like Jay or 3 Stacks. They really put 3 Stacks in that category? But Ice says that Nas is dropping the whole project, not just a verse. It was Ish mainly hating. Okay. I gotta go check out the podcast.
I guess so.
Jay Short says, who do y'all think are the winners and losers of 23? I think Joey Badass, I guess he meant 22. I think Joey Badass caught an L by not establishing himself as the best in the new generation. Pusha didn't elevate. Freddie and Hit won big time. You know what? I don't disagree with any of that because I had very high hopes for what Joey Badass was going to put down. And like I said, I think Rome Streets made the album that Joey Badass should have been able to make, in my opinion. And yeah, I think Joey missed a big opportunity with everything that he has going, in the acting world to make everything translate right back to the music. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad album, but it's not an elevation album, And I think that Pusha's album, for all the album of the year hype and all of that stuff, and Kanye and Pharrell doing the whole thing, I think we all understand that it could have been better. And I think we all feel that the execution of the album and putting out all those singles early was a mistake. Is that fair?
It's too much too soon.
It was done in an old school way, and we just don't have the old school vehicles like we used to. The world's just too fast. There's no 106
I was about to say, you just don't want to say it nice, Mike. People don't have time to wait for that shit anymore.
Yeah. And it didn't, you know what? It didn't sound like when we heard the album finally, it didn't sound like, oh, this is what we were waiting for. It sounded like it was kind of thrown together, especially on Kanye's end. On Ye's
Very
end.
problematic.
It really did, So, I mean, would you say that, who would you say, and maybe we can't quote this right now, maybe this is unfair, the biggest missed opportunity of 2022 in hip-hop, who would you give that to? I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to call anybody a flop or a bust and all that. That's disrespectful. But the biggest missed opportunity in hip-hop.
Who just took 5 years off and everybody was waiting for?
But
this is supposed to be putting like some nails in some coffins. Like he could have done a lot by releasing some,
The detractors would tell you, well, he got 8 Grammy nominations, though.
Like I said, if you have to start talking about Grammy nominations over songs, how about this? He got 8 Grammy nominations. Name me 8 classic songs between 2 discs. I'll wait.
I mean,
Name me 8 classic songs. No, he got
I
8
mean, we
Grammy
can work it
nominations.
another way.
Now let's keep it on some rap shit and name me 8 classic songs.
No, you ain't even got to say classic, Coop. Name 8 songs, or name 2 songs.
Shit, name 8 songs.
No, name 2 songs that you feel like should have equated to 8 Grammy nominations.
Name 2 songs. How about this? Give me 3 songs between these 2 albums that would go on his greatest hits right now, and explain to me how and why.
Well, that's interesting because if Kendrick Stop right now had the greatest hits, how many songs? How many songs from this album do y'all think would have actually made it on there?
0.
36 Chambers with a super chat says, does Johnny's P's Caddy verse of the year go to Cole? Some of those bars are better executed than whole albums for other artists this year. Thoughts?
It's definitely a contender. Going to mark it down.
We're going to get to that because Coop and I were talking offline on what we think may be the verse of the year. And Johnny P's Caddy's in there, definitely. Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop,
been duly noted.
You're not a big Teddy Riley fan, are you?
I like Teddy Riley. Yeah.
I like Teddy Riley too, and you know what?
I Carolina, think that's VA.
You know, when Teddy Riley did his verses, I thought that him playing Michael Jackson stuff kind of worked against him because this is the thing, and you're going against Babyface, right? Babyface made people's best stuff. When he worked with Michael, you didn't make Michael's best stuff. You didn't make Janet's best stuff. That kind of works against you in that way.
No, it doesn't work against you. You're just fucking with Babyface. So
yeah, but see, Babyface, the matchup we really needed in that situation, honestly, it should have been Babyface and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. That's who it should have been.
That's fair.
That's who it should have been, really. We were robbed of an epic versus. That's what it should have been.
Could have gave him a slap. Could have gave him a slap with that. Could have gave him a slap.
And no disrespect to Teddy, I just don't think that, he's in Babyface's arena. Not a lot of people are,
As a producer or as a songwriter? As a producer, I think he is. As a songwriter and like a composer and like putting the group and putting it all together, no.
I don't think Teddy Riley could have beat Dallas Austin. And Dallas Austin's incredible.
Dallas is incredible.
I don't think a lot of people, if Dallas picked his 20 right, a lot of people can't fuck with Dallas. Because Dallas is all over the board. And once again, he made people's best stuff. Gwen Stefani's Cool is one of the best songs of the early 2000s. It is what it is. Like...
You know our boy, and I'm probably going to end up bringing him up again. Our boy Matt from the Yardies, he did his internship with Dallas Austin. And he would tell me stories about coming into the studio, like the lights that are in Dallas Austin studios. The homie Matt put those up. The light, they're still in there today. Dallas told him to put them up as an intern. But he used to tell me, like, he would walk into the studio and it's like Pink would be there or Madonna would be there.
Yeah. I mean, this guy brings so much creative energy to some of the greats and some of the most prominent people of different eras. I mean, really, he kind of springboarded the whole Atlanta music scene if we really bring it back. I truly believe that LA and Babyface chose to set up shop in Atlanta mainly because of a young talent of Dallas Austin. I think he had a lot to do with that.
I think him and Jermaine Dupri, but yes.
He was moving a lot more than Jermaine was at that point. And Jermaine was one of LA's guys that he, was a go-to guy for him. But if you look at the TLC stuff, you look at the Boyz II Men stuff on the first album, that's Dallas, man. Boxing Trav.
Said it's not a game.
It's not a game. Boxing Trav with the super chat says, Will You Be There is better than Man in the Mirror. Thank you. I agree. Wholeheartedly.
What did he say?
He said, Will You Be There is better than Man in the Mirror.
Nobody asked him.
It is, man. We'll put that poll up, too. Kendall Outlaw says, unpopular.
Put it up.
He said, unpopular opinion. I listen to Invincible more than Off the Wall. Yeah, that's a very unpopular opinion.
Stop saying
but
that.
I feel you.
Don't say that in public anymore.
AKs and Curtain says, Book of David is a project I'll revisit, and Vinny Paz was good, too. Vinny dropped, too? Cool. Did y'all review Michi Darko's album? We did not. Michi Darko. You got to write that down. India Jam says Mike Smooth Criminal is on bad, and that
It
record
is. I was
is
going to bring up
fire.
Smooth Criminal as the dark horse.
I'm gonna keep it real.
The video's better than the song.
I think the video personally is the best video of all time, but I'm not that big of a fan of the song "Smooth Criminal." I'm not. The video
Annie,
though,
you okay, Annie?
I mean, it's cool. It's not that level. You think
Really
the
likes
Smooth
you,
Criminal? You think Smooth Criminal would make it on Off the Wall or Thriller? I don't think it would.
Oh hell no! I didn't say that.
Eric Terrell with the super chat.
No. Hell no.
Eric Terrell with the super chat.
It barely made it on bad.
Eric Terrell says, Coop and Mike, have you heard Smooth Criminal? Yes, I have. I wish I could play it right now. Like, y'all are bugging. I mean, this is the thing about bad. Don't let the visuals cloud your judgment for the actual music itself. Try to act like you never saw the video when you hear these songs. It's very hard to do, I understand.
Very problematic.
Yeah, listen to something like a PYT that wasn't even really a single for real, and listen to Smooth Criminal. They're not even in the same arena.
Needs a video.
Man with the super chat says, Earth Song, Scream, They Don't Care About Us. Still fire. Those are great records from history. Now, history, there's a lot of skippable stuff in there. But the big time
You Were
stuff
Not Alone is the best song on history.
You think so?
It is. It's just that nasty bastard wrote it. They might be setting him free.
That's not my favorite song on history.
No, Mike, that's the best song on there. I don't know what you've been listening to. What else is on there?
I like They Don't Really Care About Us.
Oh, no. Mike got himself in some trouble for that, too. You remember that? Even Mike got in trouble.
I love
That's
that.
That's what I'm saying. People don't be paying attention. You remember when they had to repackage history, right?
Yeah. They even
edited
why,
right?
They edited Michael Jackson.
Remember why?
Yeah, I remember.
Because this is America. Okay.
Something like that.
Right, okay.
Eric Terrell with another super chat says, who is it? Why you want to trip on me? Yes, those songs are fire. See, that's where Dangerous wins. They got songs like Why You Want to Trip on Me? Who is it?
I like Why You Want to Trip on Me.
Why You Want to Trip on Me is fire.
It is.
What did you think about?
Do you like Jam?
I don't.
Can I interest you in Jam?
I don't like
Jam.
Keep it
in the closet though.
Keep it in
the
closet.
Quiet.
Now keep it in the closet.
Is just okay.
No, that's a great record. I don't like Jam.
Average. Keep it in the closet's above average.
I like Jam more than I like Bad. I don't like the song Bad. I'm sorry, I don't.
But that's just because it starts off saying your butt is mine, and so we're all lost at that point.
Did you like Black or White?
No.
No one mentioned Black or White. I don't think people like
corny.
Black or White.
It's a little corny.
It kind of is.
And I wasn't really a fan of the guitar lick, to be honest with you.
Does anybody know who the rapper is on Black or White? Trivia question. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Mike, tell the truth. You giving 3,000 shade again. I'm not giving him shade. He's just not in the arena of, somebody like a Jay or Nas. He hadn't put in that level of work. He doesn't even have a single song in 30 years with 3 verses and a hook where it's just him. He's not qualified, unfortunately, as an individual. He's disqualified from these conversations. But he's a great MC. He was my favorite MC growing up. It is what it is. We like to visualize what it would be like if he went solo or did do a solo song. Can you honestly tell yourself that you would like Miss Jackson to the same level if it had 3 Andre verses? We don't know. It could be better, could be worse. Who knows? Darius Campbell with the super chat says, who are your top producers / rappers? I got Kanye, Eric Sermon, Havoc, JD, Pimp C. Can you top that? Q-Tip.
I was about to say, I'll take Q-Tip, RZA, Dr. Dre.
As a rapper? Dr. Dre has a really dope
shit.
Dr. Dre has a really dope rap voice, regardless
of
if somebody else
too,
is.
Mike. It's not like Snoop is on those records by himself. He's on Dre Day, Nothing But a G Thing. Let Me Ride is his record. Remember Keep the Heads Ringing? I like Keep the Heads Ringing.
You know what? Dr. Dre has held down more solo songs than Andre 3000. He has. I just said, I don't know if Andre could make a song with 3 verses that could keep our attention, and then you just gave me Let Me Ride, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, Dr. Dre really commanded that record. He really commanded Keep Your Heads Ringing.
Let Me Ride's great. Let Me Ride's one of my favorite hip-hop songs.
I mean,
Actually, want to know what?
so you know what? I got to give him props for that. Whether he wrote it or not, he still was able to do 3 verses and hold our attention with his delivery and his presence on the record. I think that's fair. Um, Eric Sermon, I'm gonna throw in a wild card here. I'm gonna throw in Jay Dilla, man. Jay Dilla got rhymes. Jay Dilla got bars. His verse on Thelonious, crazy.
I'm not gonna rock with you on that, Mike.
Really?
No,
He just doesn't have enough work as a
pretty
rapper.
much. Yeah, it's not enough.
It's like when High Tech jumped on the blast, killed it.
He ain't got enough either.
No, he doesn't. Mad Max with the super chat says Human Nature is his best song. I thought everyone understood that as a fact. And the melodic rap has been here since Nate Dogg. Mike, even T-Pain did that before Future. Okay. I was going to give T-Pain his props, but, T-Pain did the rap and singing thing really dope. And I think the Future took a lot of the things that T-Pain was kind of already starting and kind of took it to that next level. Miss LB with the $20 super chat. Appreciate the love. She says, the head of the Grammy said they judged the music submitted by quality of the art, not sales, streams, or fans, followers. He can't be serious when K-Dot got 8 noms. Who do you think they are fooling? Shaking my damn head. You know what? It's funny you say that, Miss LB, because
I think they are fooling all of us.
I was actually going to play that clip, Coop, at some point in the show because I think that's an interesting proclamation by the CEO of the Grammy, the Academy per se. Did you hear what he had to say? He pretty much just said that. Now, this is what I'll say. So you're telling me that people in the Academy, these people who are music professionals, they live by music, they live music. You know what I'm saying? They're skilled studio people, they're skilled marketers and all this stuff. So you're telling me all of those people got in the room and listened to Macklemore's album and listened to Good Kid, Mad City, and they said that Macklemore's album should have won Grammy for Best Rap Album. Is that what you're telling me, Mr. CEO? We should have him on the show. Because even Macklemore texts Kendrick and say, you know what, I shouldn't have won this.
Can we invite him on the show?
I would love to, because I would love for somebody to explain to me that category specifically. Who did you, and stop hiding behind nameless faces. What people were in a room and voted Macklemore's album to win Best Rap Album over Good Kid, Mad City? And shout out to the Kendrick fans. We riding for Kendrick right now because the music is the music. And if you want to say sales had nothing to do with it, none of this other stuff had anything to do with it, it was just strictly the music, tell me how music professionals sat in one room and voted for Macklemore's album over Good Kid, Mad City. I think that's probably the single worst Grammy win, or I guess misstep, that hip hop has seen. In my, just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's some bad ones down the line. But Macklemore winning Best Rap Album over Good Kid, Mad City really doesn't get too much worse than that.
I don't know what to say. It's just, I was just thinking, I was like, how stupid, I was just thinking about how dumb the people in that room were on that day when they made that decision.
I'm going to say this. Those people weren't that dumb. These decisions weren't based on music. And they can bullshit us all they want. There's no way in the world you heard these 2 albums.
You mean lie? You mean lie to us all they want.
Exactly. I mean, there's no way in the world that music professionals sat in a room and listened to Macklemore's album and then listened to Good Kid, Mad City album. And like, oh, man, this is a tough one. I think this one gets the best rap album.
Ooh, I wonder which one we're picking.
Right. Like,
fascinating. It's so close.
Yeah.
So very, very close.
I wonder what the tiebreaker was. So I guess they heard Money Trees and was like, this isn't good.
What is your bish?
Don't lie to us, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, just tell people the truth. This is based on favoritism in the music industry. These people all work together. They see certain people's names on on these lists or ballots or whatever, and they just pick things based on who they're associated with. Because you're also telling me that every single rap album that Eminem came out with since the Slim Shady LP was the best rap album that year. Because he won every single year. So you're telling me people just sat in a room, listened to the Slim Shady LP, listened to the Chronic 2001, say, you know what? This Slim Shady LP is just better.
Right.
Fuck out of here, man. Jay Short with the super chat says, Questlove on the Grammy committee and cheat codes couldn't even get a nomination. Very shady. Very shady towards who? Because sounds like Questlove ain't got no pull over there is what it sounds like.
He ain't got no clout.
Yeah, he ain't got no clout. And they don't even consider his presence. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, they didn't even know the Roots existed until You Got Me got made. They've been around for almost a decade.
It was like, oh, that's your guy? I forgot. Sorry.
That's your man's?
Yeah.
Niggas wild.
You know, as they say, man, there's no retirement plan for tap dancing. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and the agent Jack Harlow really might sweep Grammys. When the world's biggest artists, like The Weeknd, won't even submit music for consideration, it's a wrap. Truly, yeah. When you got a lot of artists that just won't even submit and just, pull themselves out of the process, what they're doing is they're taking away the validity of that institution. And without validation from the public and from the artist community themselves, that institution doesn't hold a lot of weight. Eric Terrell with the super chat says Teddy Riley produced Make It Last Forever. Yeah, great record.
I was actually, when you said Teddy Riley, the first thing I actually thought about was Make It Last Forever, actually. The album, not just the song, but the album.
Yeah, he said Guy, Heavy D, Kumo D, The Kissing Game, The Show, Lottie Dottie, Slick Rick, Classic, Dallas Can't Hang with Teddy. I was with you until you said that last thing. I would love to challenge anyone with a Dallas catalog versus a Teddy catalog. You want to take that one?
Mike, I was raised in Atlanta. I know Dallas catalog. I'm very afraid.
Boxing Trey.
You want to know? No, Mike, I really just thought about his catalog. Hell no, I ain't taking that.
Yeah, because the catalog's all over the place.
You're not going to wax me, but you're going to have some fun with me.
I mean, I could just go crazy and do like
You can go all type. No,
yeah, I can go like...
Because the Teddy stuff, like, how about this? You probably know 10 to 15 of the Teddy songs I'm going to play before I play them.
Yeah. I mean, Dallas is all over the board.
Listen what we playing. We playing Keith Sweat first album, Bobby Brown first album, right?
Yeah.
Right, well, we playing Guy first album.
No, hold on.
Blackstreet first album. That's.
Well, it wasn't Bobby's first album, but I know what you're talking about. But even on that album,
we don't count
Babyface made.
Don't nobody count that other album.
Babyface made a lot. He made most of the album. He
what
made more than I thought.
Hold on.
Everything.
What Babyface made?
Go to Google.
Hold on. Who made My Prerogative?
My Prerogative is Babyface. I think. No. I think that's the one Teddy did. We about to pull it up right now, live on TV.
Yeah. Pull it up.
Bobby Brown discography. You're not counting the first Bobby Brown album, right?
Don't be cruel, Mike. You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
Mike. Don't nobody count that shit, Mike. Stop playing, man.
All right, let's go through it real quick while we're on air.
No, please do.
So, Don't Be Cruel, Babyface, L.A. Reid. My Prerogative is Teddy. Tenderoni, Babyface. Rock With You, Babyface. Every Little Step, Babyface.
Stop, Mike. Just stop. Just quit.
I'm just saying.
You don't want to do anymore. I don't want to.
We don't need to do anymore.
I'm not taking Teddy. I can't have that Bobby Brown shit. The Bobby Brown shit is all Babyface, and it's always like half and half.
I thought it was too. Until I looked into it, I was like, oh shit. Because I was giving Teddy credit for Don't Be Cruel, I think. And I was like, and Babyface made the Ghostbuster joint. I thought Teddy did that too.
On our own joint is Babyface.
He did.
It even sounds like it's Teddy shit. How? Was Babyface being petty like, I'm going to take Teddy shit and Babyface it?
I don't know. Boxing Trav with the super chat says, RZA is by far the best producer on the mic. Kanye hasn't taken that yet. We got to give
No,
Kanye
Mike, you're
solo.
right. It's Kanye. It's
I mean,
Kanye.
Kanye solo
It's Kanye off
catalog is
sheer
crazy.
wit. You
NDU
know?
Jams with the super chat says, you said something, Coop? My bad.
No, I just said it's Ye off sheer wit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man. RZA ain't got no slow jams, man. I'm sorry. Or Through the Wire. He don't. I
No,
love
I
those.
mean this is what I'm saying. Like this is what I mean off sheer. Got a light skinned friend
Yeah.
look like Michael Jackson.
He got
like
quotable.
RZA ain't getting that shit is great.
Now, who's the better quote unquote lyricist? Yeah, if you want to go lyrical miracle, of course. Cause
yeah, RZA's a better lyricist.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
nobody asks you all that though.
Because Tragedy is my shit, man. Shit.
Off the Rhyme and Reason soundtrack?
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Tragedy is sick.
To keep it on the hook, falling on your head.
So, I think I'm going to listen to that after the show. He went crazy, man. NDU Jams with the super chat says, who y'all think did the best cover or sample of Human Nature between Chris Brown, SWV, and Nas? I think it ain't hard to tell is the winner. I love that SWV version though, but it ain't hard to tell. It's tough to beat. I think that the melody for Human Nature is just so dominating that anytime anybody does it, it's great. Have you ever heard anybody mess up the Human Nature sample?
Well, I mean, here's the thing about it. I'm pretty sure the samples and the attempts that have been messed up haven't made it to see the light of day because people have been like, okay, we fucked it up and we just need to go ahead and...
You know, speaking of messing up a great sample that's hard to mess up, I was just listening to Sweetie's EP today, and because that came out, and I wanted to be fair. I wanted to throw it out there because I kind of like Sweetie. I don't know if it's the personality thing or whatever, how she approaches it, but
I like her personality.
Yeah. So I was listening to it, and she had a song with the Juicy sample, and it was actually pretty good. And I'm like, you just can't mess up with certain samples, like.
It's hard to mess it up.
Yeah, how do you mess up a Juicy sample?
It's hard.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, God Did was not award worthy in the year of good albums in hip hop. No one who listens to music likes no one who listens to the music like that makes these decisions. Record labels bribing them. I mean, all these people work together. I mean, the CEO of the Academy basically said that the people who vote on this are the people who actually work at these record labels and work in these studios. So, independents don't really have a chance. And that's why 2020 was such a big situation because none of the mainstream people were able to drop albums because all of the venues were closed down. So the big time mainstream artists, the major labels, weren't putting their albums out there because they couldn't tour behind it. But with that happening, we got a lot of great music from a lot of people who aren't in the system. And that's why the 2021 Grammys that were, awarding 2020 have such great nominees because none of the mainstream slop was even available because nobody released anything. That's why you had an Alfredo nominated. I don't think in a regular year, Alfredo's getting nominated.
I totally concur.
Yeah.
Even though it should be.
Yeah, it should be. And I think that 2020 year, I think has shifted this decade of hip hop in a way where the mainstream is having a tough time coming back and making themselves as dominant as they were before. Because 2020, a lot of the people from the core, from the grassroots, really put in some real heavy work. And that was the beginning of, Hit Boy and Nas really being independent on their stuff too. So that's a big deal. Eric Terrell, the super chat says, Andre and Big Boy saved Atlanta hip hop from booty music and bass music. Legendary stuff. Other regions protect their pioneers, not the ape. Come on, man. You said it right. Andre and Big Boy. I was listening to a Dungeon Family mix today, man. I was listening to EJ the Witch Doctor today. I was listening to Backbone, 5 Deuce 4 Trey today. I love those guys, man. I've said it on the show before. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for those guys. But what I'm not going to do is single Andre out and act like he has songs that he doesn't have. Now, Outkast as a unit, yes, I'll vouch for that to the end.
Dungeon Family as a unit?
Yeah. I mean, again, not saying that it could never happen. It just hasn't happened. And I mean, as much as I love Lauren too, I can't give awards that didn't, like, I'm sure her sophomore album would have been great, but it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't happen. If we're going through a stat line, that's like, Len Bias, man. Unfortunately, rest in peace. He didn't play in the NBA. It didn't happen. I can't just say, like, yo, man, he should be in the NBA Hall of Fame or the Basketball Hall of Fame. And he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, can't do that.
No, you're right.
Yeah, web visibility with the super chat said, as a kid, I remember DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince winning the first Grammy in 1989. The Grammys have been a joke from the beginning. Who were they nominated with? Does anybody know?
I don't even. What year is that? 89?
89, so it would have been 88.
Public Enemy?
88 was a heavy year. That was Great Adventures of
Slick Rick. I would say Follow the Leader and It Takes a Nation was nominated, wouldn't you think?
I don't know. I would hope they were. Look it up while I get to these super chats. LP with the super chat says, Nas, no promo, no features, goes 28,000 projected out of the top 10 to 30,000 the first week, debuting at number 9 and sold more than Glorilla. We did that for real, for real. Y'all really impacted all of that. Salute. Well, I appreciate that. Y'all impacted that too, and I know y'all gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going too. As long as people making dope stuff, and again, talking about honoring our legends and making sure our legends are heralded for the great work and material that they're putting out there. That's what we're here to do. I mean, we wish we could do it even more because I know it's a lot of legends still putting out work. We're gonna talk about Busta Rhymes in a minute. Jay Short with the super chat says, I think some ATL bias here maybe. My older friends say it had the clubs on lock for a few years in the 90s until that's the way it goes, ended New Jack Swing. That's the way love goes, ended New Jack Swing? Go ahead.
So, Mike, we didn't even have like best rap album. We just had best rap performance.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, of course, Parents Just Don't Understand.
Okay.
Salt and Pepper, Push It.
Mm.
LL Cool J, Going Back to Cali.
Mm-hmm.
Cool Mo D, Wild Wild West. JJ Fad, Supersonic.
All classics, by the way. All classics.
Can I tell you the truth?
Push It should have won, actually.
I would have taken Push It, Mike. Get out my head. Push It by Salt and Pepper should have won this award.
Yeah.
The first rap Grammy should have went to a female duo.
Yeah, you're right.
Or trio.
Honestly,
Push It's the best record too, Mike.
Push It is the best record.
Push It's the best record too.
Supersonic might be second. Hold on, name those again.
The women own this shit actually right here, Mike. You're right. I would play Push It and Supersonic if I play some Wild Wild. I don't know, Going Back to Cali. I always like the original Going Back to Cali. People hated on the original Going Back to Cali.
Man, Wild Wild West was big though. My dad loved Wild Wild West. I used to
live downtown.
Up 29th Street.
Man. Right.
Okay, but if I had to rank those songs,
all night. Yeah, I remember that.
If I had to rank those songs, though, I'm going Push It. Then I'm going Supersonic. Then I'm going Back to Cali. Then I might go Parents Just Don't Understand. Then I might be going Wild Wild West.
I'm actually going to concur with that lineup, Mike.
Yeah, I'm just going to be fair here. Yeah. Parents Just Don't Understand, really. I mean, it's a great record. It's a classic, too.
It's not Push It, Mike.
It's not. Not None even then, I would imagine.
As a matter of fact, Push It is actually the clear winner of these 5 songs.
Yeah. And Supersonic is kind of like, I mean, from my understanding, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, some of the OGs in the room right now. I thought Supersonic was kind of inspired by Push It.
And Push It was a response to well, hold on. Well, they had a record before Push It that was like a response to the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Andre Shashir with the super chat says, y'all should do a Blueprint series versus the KD series. I guess we should. I mean, you think that's even a close thing at this point?
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
I think that's a 2-3. I mean, I'm sorry, a 2-1 thing right now. Like, the Blueprint 1's better than KD 1. KD 2's better than the Blueprint 2. And KD 3's better than Blueprint 3. Right?
Easy.
Yeah. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, how good do you think Will Smith's comeback album produced by Hit Boy would be? Would it work? Need both opinions, please. It's something about Will Smith's rhyming that I've never really been super big on. I mean, he could rap, you know what I mean? But I like him on Brand New Funk and obviously Summertime, but y'all have heard my theories about Summertime, so I don't even want to spend too much time on that. But yeah, I mean,
He's one of rap's great storyteller. He's got a great voice and delivery. I've always liked Will Smith, the rapper.
where do you rank
I've always
him
been a
as a
friend.
storyteller, though?
As a storyteller, about an 8 or a 9.
Oh, you talking about? I guess I meant rank him amongst his peers, but that's fair.
What do you mean?
I was saying, like, is he top 20 or something, or?
As a storyteller?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Think so? Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. Unequivocally. Yes.
Okay.
Without hesitation. Yeah.
36 said, what are those theories?
Oh,
I got paid in full theories about Summertime.
Lord.
I don't want to go there, man.
Let's not do that. Remember when I tried to do that and the guy from Public Enemy, remember the guy from Public Enemy and me got into it on Facebook about the whole Rakim thing?
I do remember that.
Right.
I remember it vaguely. Yeah.
And he was like, bro, I was on tour with Rakim. I know Rakim. And I was like, well, produce Rakim for the show.
Listen, man, if Rakim, never, if he said he didn't write it, he didn't write it, man. But I will say this: I never heard Will Smith rap like that before nor after, and I'm not even just talking about flow and delivery. I'm talking about vocabulary and everything. 36 Chambers says Will Smith doesn't get his flowers like he should. I would love to hear Will come with another album, though. You know what? His son, Jaden, he put out an album. That might have been about 5 or 6 years ago now. Forgot what it was called.
It's good.
That shit was dope.
The little EP. You talking about the EP or the album?
I'm talking about the album. The EP he put out not too long ago was dope too. With the Ghost song, like Ghost song was hard, but
I like the EP more than the album. But
man, that album that he put out a couple years back, I was like, man, he's dope. I might listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Sometime this evening or tomorrow too, man. Jaden put out some heat, and I think because of who his father is, you know, it's tough for people who come from that lineage in hip hop. It's easier for guys who like, you know, like Steph Curry or whatever. If your father played in the league, you can follow behind that and make your own legacy. But if you follow behind your father that was a rapper, it's kind of tough for you. We're seeing that with T.I.'s son. He's dope. You know, T.I. is and his son. His dad. No, he's not his dad, but he's a whole different artist from his dad, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's more flavor. You can tell he's more Andre influenced. See, Eric Terrell, there you go. He's more Andre influenced, and, you know, he's that kind of MC. I know when they were interviewing Biggie's son, he was talking about he's a Slum Village fan, and the way he rapped, he was rhyming like, you know, some backpack stuff. But it's interesting, man. Works. It's funny how that works. But what I was gonna say though, I think T.I. and his son are actually performing at the halftime for the Atlanta Hawks, and they're doing that song that they had together. And I remember telling you 2 years ago, I said that should have been the first single. And then I guess 2 years later, he ends up putting out a video for it, and it's just too little too late. That was an iconic moment and misstep. They could have went out there. T.I. could have had his first single, that dope song that he has with his son. And that could have been maybe not a changing of the guards, but doing something that hip-hop really hadn't seen like that. I know E40 and his son make music together, but that would have been big. I thought that was a real big missed opportunity, but I'm glad they're trying to salvage it, but might be a little bit too little too late.
Possibly.
Yeah. CJ Kid.
I think they really did miss an opportunity with that. Go ahead to the super chats. You're cool.
Yeah. CJ Kid says, how about Jay's Volume series versus the Blueprint series? That might be a little bit more interesting. Is it?
Not really, but yeah. Maybe.
Volume 1 versus the Blueprint. Got the Blueprint. Volume 2 versus the Blueprint 2. I think that's Volume 2. And then the Blueprint 3 and Volume 3. I think that's the Blueprint 3.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No, because you got to think about it. What's better than So Ghetto on Blueprint 3? Or Come and Get Me? Or Snoopy track?
Well, I was going to say DOA.
But I just gave you 3. I just gave you Snoopy track, So Ghetto, and Come and Get Me.
Some good songs. What does Leroy Green think? Volume
Right.
3 or the Blueprint 3?
And I don't care what people say. It's like, in the beat's not the greatest, but Beans and Jay smash. They smash that "Do It Again" record. Smash.
Oh yeah, no.
Mac, you know how
No.
Mac come through on the club tip. Everybody knee deep on that thug shit. Right.
No.
That shit is bananas.
No. Jay's verse on there is crazy. Like I remember
No,
when that
King's
came
verse on
out,
there is just
I
as
was kind
crazy.
of on the fence with Jay. I was like, and then when he did that one, I was like, oh no, this guy got it right now.
I'm gonna
How
tell
the
you what,
fuck you
it's
gonna
like,
talk about them seeds on our
literally,
hill?
here's how I feel about that song. It's like Beans might have had verse of the year on the first verse, and Jay came and stole it. Like,
Yeah, we just copped them things, homie, the chromey wheels. Both arms chunky, the sleeves all chill. Any given time, 100 G's in your grill. Don't talk to me about them C's got skills. He's alright, but he's not real. Jay-Z's that deal. C's in the field. Never feel for wall hugs, squeeze that still. You got a flow, that's cool with me. You got a little dough, that's cool with me. Got a little cars, little jewelries. But none of y'all motherfuckers can fool with me. You know the wrist frostbit, -2 degrees, about as blue as the sea. The way I maneuver the V. Hat cock can't see his eyes. Who could it be? With that new blue Yankee on, who but me? Yeah, that takes the Blueprint 3 out.
yeah,
Shit,
it's
2
over.
million,
That's
then
what
I
I'm
blew the
saying.
3, then I
Like,
skated the 4 before I went on
it's-
tour. Came back and it's plain. You niggas ain't rapping the same. Fuck the flow, you got jacking out slang. I seen the same shit happen to Kane. 3 cuts in your eyebrow trying to wild out. Yo, that's a crazy verse. Yeah, that and then Big Pimpin', yeah, it's better than Volume.
That's what I actually think that's his best verse on a single, except for the "Nigga What Nigga Who" performance. I think that's his actually second best performance on an actual like single, like a hit single.
I'm
Like,
with that.
as in post Reasonable Doubt.
No, I think his verse on there is better than the Jigga What Jigga Who verses too. I'm with you on that. I think that's the best single verse, best verse on a single.
I don't know. All I do is rap and sex. Imagine how I flow. Seeing how I was going on my last cassette. Grab a fire like a fast on the tech. Never jam though. Never get high. Never run out of ammo. Niggas hating the shit. No, I don't know, Mike. I don't think so.
What about Is That Your Chick? Where he was like, don't get mad at
don't-
me. I don't love a motherfucker. My chasing my duck and my replacing with another one. She had to see. She kept calling me big. And my name is Jay-Z. She was all on my dick. Gradually, I'm taking over your shit. Coming over your shit.
Nigga What Nigga Who's better. Nigga What Nigga Who's better. That shit was special.
You coming home to dishes, the empty soda cans. I got your chick up in my rover, man. I never kissed her, never hold her hand. In fact, I did, sir. I'm a bolder man, and that's pimper. It's over. Yeah. When the go and the go to the end like a Goldie man, you bitch chosen man, Jigga man, iceberg with the frozen hands, wedding bands don't make it rosary, man. I like that.
No.
That's not his song though, unfortunately.
It's
It
not
was.
that Nigga What Nigga Who. I don't think so.
I'm still with the Do It Again though. I think that's his best.
Do It
verse
Again
on
is
the
pretty
single.
special. That's what I mean. That's way all those records are better than everything on the Blueprint 3. Like So Ghetto, Do It Again, Snoopy Track, Come and Get Me. That's better than everything on the Blueprint 3.
So we would be putting Empire State of Mind versus Big Pimpin'. Polar opposites. What would you say is the better song though?
Big Pimpin'.
Okay. I like
Mike,
Empire State of Mind. I know a lot of people don't like Empire
UGK's
State.
coming out party. It's C's most quotable performance. Bun B actually
right.
has the best verse on the song.
He does. You're right.
Come on.
You're right. Jay Short with the super chat says, who do you think has the most pressure going into 2023? I say J. Cole. He still doesn't have an across the board classic. I think Cardi has no pressure because she's not making another album. Right. I was going to say, yeah, we're not going to get another Cardi album. That's not going to happen. I'm with that whole thing that J. Cole has pressure, but I think Kendrick has pressure.
What pressure is Kendrick under? Kendrick been out here showing his ass. Who's saying that?
You don't think Kendrick has pressure to follow? Listen, he might be getting.
I'm going to say Cole.
Yeah. No, Jay Short says Cole. I think Kendrick has pressure.
Oh, yeah, Kendrick's under pressure right now. Needs to do better.
He knows. And, you know, it is.
He's not a fool. Of course he knows.
He didn't even sound confident on the album.
Therapy.
BCM with the super chat says Jay's verse on the Dynasty intro is fire. Yes, it is. theme song to The Sopranos. Y'all gonna have us quoting all this Jay stuff, and we're supposed to be the naysayers, right? You want to talk about this Busta Rhymes album?
Yeah, please, let's do.
Yeah. Busta Rhymes dropped the EP today. I think I got the track list here.
Great.
The Fuse is lit. He dropped like, what was it, 5 songs?
A little 5-pack, a little 5-piece.
What you think about it?
I liked it. I was actually surprised that you liked it as much as I did. When I was listening to it, I was like, Mike ain't gonna like this.
Well, I mean, I think we've already buried the notion that we're never gonna get a certain era of Busta Rhymes back, and that's with most artists anyway. But I like what he did here. I think the production's on point. I liked, other than the song that we already heard with Conway and Kane, I also like Hot Sex Part 2.
I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
What did you think? That was where I was kind of like, when I heard it, I was like, I wonder how Mike feels about this.
I like the energy of this album, or this EP, excuse me, more than I like the energy of Extinction Level Event 2. Now, Extinction Level Event 2 is obviously the better, piece of work. But yeah. I can be honest, man, I don't think I've really gone back to that album too much. Because it feels like, it just doesn't feel like Busta Rhymes, you know what I'm saying? And I think I know I'm being unfair, and this is being a Busta Rhymes fan. I think he really cemented himself as such a different entity, as a brand, if you will, that when he doesn't do things in the scope of that brand, it's just hard to really, judge. You know what I'm saying? It's like Wu-Tang. If Wu-Tang changed their whole gritty sound as a collective, we would feel a way about it. Like, we'd be like, okay, it's still good, but it don't feel like Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he did a good job of maybe not capturing that brand, but capturing the energy in that brand.
Well, I'm about to say, what are you looking for him to capture? Because I feel, okay, so the energy is there. So what are you looking for him to capture specifically? Because it's like, everybody has a prime, Mike. It's like, he's not, like, you have to understand, there was a time where it's like, well, as a player, it's like, well, he was a top 5 to 7 player for a long time, definitely top 10. Like, how about this? He made our all rep team, a long time, as in, like, one of the best 15 players in the league when he was playing in his prime. That's what you got to do to make an all-NBA team, right? You got to be one of the top 15 players, essentially, or in some sort of shape, form, or fashion, because there's 3 teams, 15 players. Like, he made those teams for a long time, Mike.
I just think, I'm just going to be honest, I think that the foundation he set, it wasn't a lot of longevity in it. And I think that I've even heard him and some people around him speak on the fact that even after the whole rah-rah days or whatever, Q-Tip and Diddy told him, like, yo, man, you're going to have to, chill out, do some things for the ladies or whatever. And that's when you ended up getting, like, hit you with another layers of what you're saying, yo, with him calming it down. So he was able to transition.
And I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. I don't know how people feel about the Mariah and the Janet record. I love those records.
I like the Janet record. I don't love the Mariah record.
You don't?
Nah, that baby, if you give it to me, nah.
I like it.
You like it? Okay. Well, I mean, people, and honestly, that is
I think it's a great relationship record, too, if you really listen to the song.
It's a flip mode song, too. I think that might be one of the reasons why I'm not really, you know what I mean? Because that's so off-brand for the flip mode. Now,
that's why I like the song so much. It's so off-brand for the squad, and the squad all got in and did a good job to me. Yeah. That's what I mean. I felt like it was a great showcase moment for them. It doesn't have it's not the energy or the synergy of the Busta Janet record, but it's a very enjoyable record. I enjoy both.
I think that record has probably lasted maybe longer than most of his top 3 for him. I think Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See has lasted the most. But I think the Mariah one might be right there with it. If he does a versus, which I hope he does, because, I think a Busta Rhymes versus would be great. He's definitely going to play that towards the cleanup spot or towards the end.
And Mike, listen what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I love those records. I don't like that happy shit. You did a great job on those records.
I'm surprised that you said you like that record.
No, I love both of those records. I've played both of those records since they came out, and I still play both of those records today, like, randomly, or like if it comes on, it's like, oh, no, I'm like, cut that up.
Uncle Fran with the super chat says, Volume 3 is better than the Blueprint 3. I take Empire State of Mind over Big Pimpin'. Shout out to Uncle Fran in the building.
Run This Town over Big Pimpin', maybe, though.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
run this town over Big Pimp.
I'm surprised people putting Volume 3 over the Blueprint 3 because I've always had Volume 3 towards the bottom of Jay-Z's catalog.
I don't know why you've always said that.
Maybe
too.
I'm just being too hard on Volume 3. The more I think about it.
What's the other track on there too? The other Timbo track. There's Snoopy track, and then there's what's the it's Hot as Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this shit is go ahead and wrap that
That's
up.
Crazy.
There's nothing crazy like that on the Blueprint 3. That when it drops, you're just like, what is that? That's crap music. It's that real black music.
I didn't really like Dope Man like that.
Dope Man's a dope concept.
It is
okay, so
concept.
I don't love the beat the Dope Man, but when people ask an artist to grow or step outside of their box, but
he
still
took chances on that.
But still remain true to their core audience, Dope Man's a prime example, and that's why I like Dope Man, because it's like,
that's fair. He took chances on there, even with the Mariah record.
And try to tell me I'm where hope floats, man. Ghetto spokes, man. I know. I like that he tried that.
Pop for Rock was a misstep.
So was S. Carter. Those were
I hate that record. The Things That You Do, S. Carter, Pop for Rock.
You don't like Things That You Do? Just messing. I'm just messing. Right.
I hate that record, and I hated the Blue Street record. I hated that record. Come here.
Oh yeah, I hate the Blue Street record. Oh, finally we agree on a whole song we can't stand.
I hate that. That might be my least favorite Jay-Z single. Off the top of my head, if you ask me what my least favorite Jay-Z single is, it might be that.
What was it called?
Was it called Blue something Diamonds or something? I don't know. It was something.
It was bad.
But bad. I felt like that about Nostradamus when that song came out too. I hated that.
I don't enjoy Nostradamus at all. It's not enjoyable.
Marquez Davis with the super chat says, my favorite Jay song has always been Somehow, Some Way. I love that record too. That verse, look man, the tree grows from Brooklyn. If you actually read that book and then you realize what he's talking about, just crazy on that verse. You and I have had discussions about the trio of Jay, Scarface, and Beans. And I wish we could have gotten an album from them produced by Kanye West or, Just Blaze or both. But it's funny how they knocked it out the park with all three of the songs that they did together. And I truly believe that on Guess Who's Back, Jay had the best verse. On Somehow, Some Way, Beans had the best verse. And on This Can't Be Life, Face had the best verse. And so they really went 3 for 3 all around.
I don't know if Jay has the best verse on Guess Who's Back.
Really? Still smell the crack on my clothes. Don't make me have to relapse on these hoes. Taking it back when I was taxing the roads when I was thugging. From the womb
to the tomb.
Niggas couldn't do nothing with it.
And the spoon. Trying to make me 40,000.
Great verse. They all killed it on every song.
They all killed.
But the way Jay said it all,
is a record where they just all smashed to me. So it's like I never looked at it as a one-upman shit. It's like it's about what you prefer. But I never felt like Jay had like the superior verse to Face or Mac.
He set it off on that record, man.
No, he set it off. that doesn't make it the best verse. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I mean, I like his verse on. I like all of the verses. All 9.
I think Jay's verse on Somehow, Some Way. Actually, I'm gonna tell you how I looked at it. If I was picking a verse, I would actually take Mac's verse on Guess Who's Back, and I would take Face verse on This Can't Be Life, and I would take Jay's verse on Somehow, Some Way.
Whether we dribble out this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Second floor hospital out this
motherfucker. Right. No, I think Jay took that one.
I like Beans' verse on there, man.
I like Beans' verse on Guess Who's Back more. I feel like the way Beans came in on the breakdown. Guess Who's Back? Your boy Bean Nizak, a.k.a. Mr. Half Brick.
Yeah. I mastered it. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, don't underestimate the Blueprint 2. Some of Jay's best lyrics are on there. I think that the Blueprint 2 is very underappreciated in Jay-Z's career. This was a make or break time for him even. This was after Ether, and he was rapping like his life depended on it. When Kobe went out there and was, scoring 40 and 50 a game and all that stuff after he got into the situation.
Colorado. We just call it Colorado, man.
Yeah.
After Colorado.
And it was like, yo, man, Jay was
Very
rapping crazy, man. Seven straight summers. Critics might not admit it, but nobody in rap did it quite like I did it. You did it, I done it before. You get it, I had it. Got mad at it and don't want it no more. That goes from everything from flipping that raw, flipping horse, flipping vocal cords. Don't get it twisted. Get it right. Did it better. Did it different. Did it nice. Did the impossible. Then did it twice. Get it right. He wasn't rapping like that on the Blueprint. And on the
Absolutely
Blueprint,
not.
on the
But
Blueprint, he had bars,
you want to
but
know
he
why he
was
rapping like that, though,
relaxed.
right? Caught that fade.
Yeah,
That's what
he was
happened.
rapping crazy on the Blueprint
That
too.
fade, Mike, can make you rap different. It's like, hold on, did I just? Yep. What's that? That's you getting up off the canvas, nigga. That's what that is. It's
And
like,
then-
oh yeah, you better get your ass up off the canvas and fight. You just got floored.
And then he came with the "Can't y'all see that he's fake?" the rap version of TD Jake's prophesizing on the CDs and tapes.
Yeah.
Like the little
like, Mike,
brother Jungle.
definitely upset, Mike.
Yeah.
Definitely upset.
But see, I like hearing him like that though. The intensity from the
He
Blueprint
hadn't
too.
impressed like that. No, he thought he had it in the bag, Mike. He hadn't impressed. He thought he was gonna skate.
Even his second verse on "Excuse Me, Miss," that's a dope verse.
Mike, can I tell you something else? Since we having a Coop likes happy shit type of episode, I love "Excuse Me, Miss."
"Excuse Me, Miss" is a game changer. That's the record. That's the record that made people button it up. That was the record that made people put down the throwbacks. When they seen that video, it changed things.
Me and Six like used to love that record and joke about that record about how grown up and sexy it was. It's like, oh shit, we're gonna have to switch speeds on these motherfuckers now.
Not a lot existed on hip hop radio like that at the time.
No, it's wonderful. I love "Excuse Me, Miss."
I remember hearing it for the first time. I remember exactly where I was when I was listening to the Blueprint 2 for the first time. And I heard that song and I liked it. But then I was thinking, I was like, damn, man, the Luther song just came out like 2 years ago. Is it too soon? That was that whole, is it too soon to sample thing? Like when Fabulous did that whole "I'm so into you" to me. I'm like, well, damn, that song's like 3 years old now. But back then I didn't know that Sugar Hill Gang sampled a song that was made like 2 months before it. So I guess there are no rules. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, realize this week that Reminisce on KD3 is a song about the past and present coming together and moving forward. Starts with the classic older beat, then moves forward to a modern beat at the end. Fire. The concepts that are on KD3 I think are underappreciated, man. Like conceptually what those guys did coming together with their individual talents and just individual perspectives and meshing it together, it really translated on this one. And I think you called that one. You were like, their synergy is going to reach an apex on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that happens the more that you're around somebody when it starts clicking, Mike. It's like Pusha T says on If You Know, You Know, when we all clicking like Golden State. You know when he was saying that? He was saying that when he was watching like the way Durant and Steph and Clay and Draymond and whoever would move the ball with each other. It'd be like, look at the way these niggas is moving the ball and really not caring about who's scoring. When we all click in like Golden State and you and your team are the motorcade. Like, yeah.
For the most part, you and I, the albums that we hold very high, even in recent times, have that synergy with the producer and the MC. Yes. When you got Kanye and Pusha on Daytona, it's unmatched. And I think that Westside's a outlier here because when you look at Westside, he brings everybody into his world. He's a curator. So it feels like he is the producer, even though he's not the one making the beats, quote unquote. But Pray for Paris has a culture to it. And he has a lot to do with that. So I kind of count that in a similar vein. And then you got Alchemist with Alfredo, with Freddie, right? And then you got the KD series. So yeah, and you got Magic, right? And then you got this. So what I'm seeing here is, I think we're back to the producer MC combo, where it used to be like a, MC DJ combo, but I think that's where we're at. Those are the people making the best product. I'm glad we've moved away from people having a bunch of different producers. And that's no disrespect to Freddie's album, because I think he did a really great job of doing that and showing versatility with that. But when you look at Cheat Code, you look at KD3, I think Sold Separately is the only one in the top three currently, right? Where it had a array of producers.
You're right.
I think the producers would rather work with one MC other than just scattering their beats around. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's how it originally kind of like cultivated itself into this fashion and into this form, because everything was sectioned off and competitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I can
Fighting
remember
for placements or whatnot.
Well, let's not even go to the 80s. Let's go to something more a little bit more current that people can understand. Early 90s, Q-Tips with the Tribe Called Quest. Pete Rock is with Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Large Professor is with Main Source. Okay?
Premier is with Gangstar. We can't forget that.
Yeah, Primo and Gangstar, of course. They're all going to the same record stores and trying to one-up each other. Yeah. And trying to beat each other to the record stores to see who can pull the better samples or who's more knowledgeable, who can do what, or who can do it like this. You get what I'm saying? So it was kind of like together, but separate, but competitive, very much like the NBA. Yeah. It's like, no. Dominique and Michael Jordan go kick it after the game in Atlanta. But during the game, Mike going to get 49, Dominique going to go get 42, and it's competition. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it's interesting you put it like that, and you're right, because at that point, you're competitive within your own chamber. Shout out to RZA, right? But when people start actually producing for others, and then you really start hearing levels like, okay, you're giving Jay-Z your top-notch beat where you might not be giving that same beat to this artist over here, or that level of a beat to this artist over here. So that's what kind of made things a little bit top heavy in the 2000s, where it was like all of the top acts, they were getting the best producers, best material, but the other acts weren't getting that. I mean, I feel like even to a certain degree, as hot as the Neptunes were, do you feel like Clips got their best production on Lord Willing?
On Lord Willing, no.
Yeah. Well, I know in 06, yes. But I'm talking about how they were on fire in 2002, and it felt like the Clips didn't really get the best of them because they were so scattered, making stuff for everybody else. And it probably wasn't intentional.
Can I tell you the truth? Outside of grinding, no.
Yeah.
I feel like they gave him grinding and was like, here, run with that.
Because I think as much as I like When the Last Time, I don't think they would have,
When you listen to When the Last Time now, Mike, you can tell that they didn't give them their best.
Well, see, this is the thing, though.
Think about it, because they're making shake your ass around that time, Mike.
I know. Yeah, they're making Give It To Me and stuff around that time. But see, at that point, if Clips are your group, they're kind of taking, what you're giving them pretty much. But the other acts, they have a choice to decline or accept the record too. So it's a little different level of a challenge. But like you said, back to it, Q-Tip was making the album for Tribe. It's like, no, this is my production job and they're getting my best. Because it wasn't spread around like that. Mad Max of the Super Chat says, Big Pimpin' is better than Empire State of Mind, worst NY anthem attempt, and J Short, J Cole, F&L, a universal classic. The warm-up 2014, the LP, that's still chatting, still since it came out. J Short says, DMX in 2001 killed Volume 3 out here. This is true. 007 with the Super Chat says, Busta, top 5 most versatile MC? Question mark. Is Busta the most is top 5 most versatile MC? I can see him on any type of track and any producer. He gives me Big Daddy Kane vibes regarding capability. What do you think about Busta's versatility as far as like amongst his peers? Who would you say are the most versatile MCs of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Well, Biggie's the most versatile MC of all time.
Yeah, Biggie never sounded awkward on anything.
So after that, it would be Pac for me.
Biggie.
And I only say this because it's like
Jigga Man too.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. Because I think after this KD run, we have to consider Nas in that conversation.
Okay.
Because you got to think about versatility. It's like, oh, well, this is a guy that when he was 17 could say that he went to hell for snuffing Jesus. And that's the 17-year-old him, but the 50-year-old or almost 50-year-old him is still saying, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
I mean, not to interrupt you, but I want to add on to that. Name a producer that he hasn't rhymed over beats. You know what I mean? Like, name a
that's
producer
what I mean
he
when you're
hasn't
talking
worked
about
with.
versatility. Well,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing about it, and this is what I'm saying. Well, if you were to go name the greatest producers of all time, name the one that hadn't worked with Nas.
Exactly.
Because DJ Paul's the only person I can think of that doesn't have a
that
Nas
can
record.
happen right now, I'm sure, you know? And after
And we
what
don't
I'm
know
hearing
that for certain. And we don't know that hasn't happened because, you know, Nas is very Prince-like with his vault.
Yeah.
Right.
And after listening to KD3, I mean, I can imagine it could happen. But again, I'm not going to give points for something that hasn't happened. But if that's how far you got to dig, he's rhymed over
DJ Paul and
everybody.
DJ Quick are the only people I can think of that he hasn't rhymed over their beats. So he would be in that conversation just off the strength of that.
Rick Rubin? Huh? I haven't heard him on Rick Rubin, but I've heard him on Marley Marl. Marley Marl did On the Real.
Yeah, I know.
And Marley Marl was supposed to produce the whole It Was Written album, I heard.
I've heard rumors of that. I don't know how that was going to go, but I mean, he checks a lot of boxes in terms of that. So I would go Biggie, Tupac, Nas. Like, definitely. After that, I think, you know, because here's the thing, like what Nas is doing right now is kind of like separating himself from everybody. It's like, no, he's rhyming over today's younger production. It's like, we don't know how Biggie and Pac would have aged in this.
Yeah.
And the reason I put Biggie ahead of Pac in that is because, well, it did take Pac some time to catch his steam and catch his wind a little bit. It's like Pac's first album is okay. Pac's second album is really good. Pac's third album, it's like, okay, this nigga's on fire. You feel what I'm saying? Big came out on fire.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And Big came out able to do what Pac was doing when Pac started to peak. But Pac is the one that gave him the formula, too. So it's like, that's why that's my 1 and 2, because Biggie is agile because Pac told him to be agile. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally, Biggie will tell you, like, Pac used to tell him, it's like, you got to make song for the beat right.
Yeah. I'm going to have to throw Jay in there, too. But number 5,
I'm cool with Jay being in there, too.
I got to think about 5. I don't know if it's Busta Rhymes, but what do you think about the notion that Method Man might be more versatile than Busta Rhymes?
He is.
I think so.
Because he can do Bring the Pain and I'll Be There For You. And so,
and he could get on the Limp Bizkit record.
Well, no. How about this? As much as I love the Janet record and the Mariah record, those records aren't fucking with I'll Be There For You.
No. But what do you think about the D'Angelo record?
As much as I love Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, Mike,
it's not fucking with Bring the Pain. No.
It's not fucking with Bring the Pain, and that's why Meth is cool at number 5 with
and then
me.
You got How High. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got How High. You got the Limp Bizkit shit. He can go jump on a Mobb Deep album like Hell on Earth. He can go jump on a Limp Bizkit record. He can go do a whole album with Redman and Method Man.
He can jump on a Mary J. Blige record.
Projects, Mike. I told you the Purple Tape and Liquid Swords aren't the same without Method Man.
Yeah.
He's very integral in their flawless status as classic albums. Like, think about this. What is Liquid Swords without shadowboxing and living in the world today?
You're right. And you know what? A lot of people talk about Busta Rhymes in a versus and who he needs to go up against. And I know Method Man. I know Method Man's already done the Redman one, but that's the matchup, really. That is the matchup we need. And maybe we need to put that in the atmosphere so it can happen. But Method Man and Busta is the matchup that Busta needs.
But most versatile MCs, we're going Big, Pac, J, Nas, Meth, right?
Off the top of my head, yes.
Yeah, we would have to dig and do a little bit more thinking, and I'm cool with that 5.
I'm cool with that 5, too. Let me know who y'all think needs to break into that 5. 36 Shaver says, the Heart Part 5 was added to Mr. Morale's track list. Is that an attempt to push that album Grammy nomination since the song is nominated so much?
You want to know what that is?
Wow.
That's the reverse engineering. How about this?
Wow.
You know what that is?
Wow.
That's the equivalent of taking Braveheart Party off of Stillmatic.
I'm disappointed.
Because they knew. You feel what I'm saying? It's the reverse engineering of it. It's like, oh no, we got to add that on because this album isn't strong. It's like, oh, we got to take that off because this album is so superior if we take it off. It's the same thing. It's just reverse engineered.
You know what's so disappointing about that is the fact that, again, and I want to be balanced here, I gave amazing props to the intelligence that it took and the ear that it took for them to put the live version of I onto Pimple Butterfly. That changed the trajectory of that whole thing because the regular version, not that strong, but the live version and to have the wherewithal to actually go and put a live version on the album to make it better, that takes a lot of ear. But the problem here is you guys thought that the album was strong enough without it and just put that out there. And now you're hearing what people are saying. And now you want to go back there and reconstruct this and say, oh no, we're going to add this on. Now, if you would have added that initially, I would have given props to that. But I don't like
No,
that. I don't like adding after the fact, just like I don't like when the source went back and gave albums 5 mics after the fact. No, stand on what you did.
no,
Just
Mike.
say you
I'm
were
trying to tell
wrong,
you.
and that's fine.
Okay, look, Mike. I've been trying to be nice about this. I've heard from multiple people now within this industry that he really thought that he was about to shift the culture with this album, and people tried to tell him that this wasn't that, and his ego, Mike, got in the way, and he rocked with it thinking he was about to shift the whole narrative and the whole culture of rap because he thought he had it like that, Mike. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've heard that from Mike. I've heard that from 3 different places now, and it's the same story about how no, Coop niggas tried to tell him that shit wasn't hot, and his ego is so large and so massive, even though he tries to play this humble role, Mike, that he said no and wanted to put it out thinking it was really going to shift the wave of how things were done. And it came out and it was some mid. And now he's talking about adding tracks on, going to do another album because his ego got in the way of the quality of the music and it flopped musically. Maybe not credential wise, but musically flopped. It's not good. He knows it. He thought he was doing something special.
I think everyone can agree that if we're talking about all of his albums, right, and let's not even count Overly Dedicated, let's just say Section 80 to now. I think everybody would have this album at the bottom, right? And let me know if I'm wrong here. Let me know if I'm off
It's not
base.
even a question.
Yeah. Because I think we all debate about the number 1 and 2 spot. Maybe debate about 3 as well. But I think most people feel like Section 80 was better than this one, right? And maybe from a technical aspect,
How
maybe
about
not
this?
so much because the writing is so incredible. That's the weird part about this album. The writing is stellar.
That's where he thought he was special. That's what I'm saying. He thought he was about to change things and put the ball in his court. And it's like, no, this is hip hop. You don't put the ball in your court. You put the ball in hip hop's court.
That's true. BCM with the super chat says, Rakim smacked Jay on the Watcher. I'm with that. Jay Short says, Mike, Jay knows better than to do a full length Face. Face got too much depth in his voice and would dominate. We'd start having uncomfortable conversations. Jay would want us to have that about that Jay would want us to have about his rank. Yeah, we would have uncomfortable conversations that Jay wouldn't want us to have about his ranking. CJ Kidd says, that's what I'm saying, Mike. Might need to rethink that Volume 2 versus Blueprint 2 answer. I don't know, man. It's weird because Volume 2, he's rapping really relaxed, and he's clearly rapping better on the Blueprint 2, but those songs are kind of undeniable on Volume 2. But you've also said that songs on Volume 2 haven't aged well, and I can't really gripe with you on that.
I mean, outside of a week ago, what song on there feels timeless to you?
A Week Ago is actually my favorite song on there.
It's the best song on there.
I love It's Alright.
Really?
I do. I love that record. On the
That's like me with the Mariah record and Busta record and the Flip Mode record.
Really? I spent more money than Latrell.
It's just not that the beat, Mike. It's the beat.
Dame Dash did the beat too. Man with the super chat says,
no disrespect.
Man with the super chat says, thoughts on Just Ice, super underrated legend in my opinion. I like Just Ice. I think he's probably the most underrated MC of the 80s.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Lex Diesel says, if you take Impact out of the equation, is Illmatic still Nas' best album? In my opinion, it is. It's one of the best
Well, here's
albums
the
ever.
thing about Illmatic. Like, people don't understand this, and this is why production matters so much.
Oh, Jay Short says something. Hold that thought. He says
Really?
Snoop is the most versatile MC ever. Okay, cool with that.
Snoop is the person that I thought of, but here, okay, so I'm going to say this
If you want to
respectfully.
put Snoop in Meth's place, I'm fine with that, but I don't know.
You can, but here's the thing with that is it's like, when the last time Snoop really like made some street bangers, Mike, where you like really remember them? Because to be honest with you, the last like I guess shit that like the streets really banged the Snoop that was like Snoop's record was probably "Bitch Please Mike" or "Pimp Slap" when he did.
I thought you were gonna say something like Vato or something.
But that's what I'm saying. Did the streets really play that like that? I'm just asking questions.
I mean, but Snoop's made sensual seduction and stuff like that too.
No, I love me some Vato. Be real. No, I love Vato. That's what I'm saying. No, I like that stuff. How is it really tracking in the streets though? Like, and this is what I mean by tracking in the streets. Oh, I keep hearing everybody in the streets playing fun. And I keep hearing niggas texting me from other parts of the country and say, yo, they playing fun out here.
Well, somebody could say that about Method Man, right?
What?
Somebody could say that about Method Man too. Like, make the argument of Method Man being more versatile than Snoop.
No, I can't give you a clear-cut argument. I'm cool with putting Snoop in instead of Meth.
Yeah.
He made Doggy Style.
He did.
He made Doggy Style.
Well, you were about to say something about Illmatic.
Doggy Style.
You were about to say something about Illmatic. What were you about to say?
Well, 4 of the 20 greatest hip-hop producers of all time are on Illmatic. That's why Illmatic sounds like Illmatic.
And they were coming off some of the best work that they ever made as producers in their respected groups.
Actually, respectively, if you kind of looked at it, you could be looked at that they just all got done, finished working on their most well-rounded projects production-wise.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not only, it's like this 4 of the 20 greatest producers ever, but it's like at the right time.
Yeah.
Right.
All
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
People, this is what I mean. Is it's like, here's how you need to look at Illmatic. The same way you look at It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
Yeah, straight out.
They're so one of one. Like, think about this: when Public Enemy made It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, nobody expected them to do that again.
It was louder than a bomb.
We knew that it couldn't be done again, and nobody asked them to.
But you know what they kept doing though? They kept making these groundbreaking individual singles, and I think like, that when we were doing our verses,
Take it in blood.
No, I feel you. I'm talking about like with Public Enemy. I ain't saying Nas didn't do it, but what I noticed when we were doing our verses and I had Public Enemy is they had songs that artists normally make once, maybe twice in their career. They got 10 of them, man. Like, they got records that, I mean, if you made Rebel Without a Pause, you're cool. That's like a top billing or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just kept doing it. They kept doing it.
And I understand that, but that's what I mean. As far as like the craft of MCing goes, Nas did the same thing, but nobody, but nobody knocked Public Enemy. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like nobody's like, oh, well, this ain't It Takes a Nation of Millions.
Well, I mean, you didn't have time to say that with Fight the Power out there and Welcome to the Terror Dome. So what can you say?
Okay, so Mike, respectively, can I introduce you to this 95 feature run that included stuff like Fast Life, Verbal Intercourse, Eye for an Eye, More Money, More Murder, More Homicide, followed up with It Was Written, which has stuff like The Message, I Gave You Power, Take It in Blood, The Setup, Shootouts, Silent Murder. You get what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
So the same thing Public Enemy was doing for the socially conscious, like powerful black song, Nas was doing for the craft of lyricism, except for when Nas was doing it, people was like, why won't you make Illmatic? Nobody said that when niggas was making them other PE records that wasn't on It Takes a Nation.
It's hard.
Nobody said shit. Nobody said shit about Niggas for Life not having any of the social commentary that Straight Outta Compton had.
Well, now that's fair. But, you know, in Public Enemy,
Straight Outta Compton had some social commentary to express yourself, Mike.
Yeah, no, you're right. NWA is a whole different group on the second album.
Whole different group. Nobody said a word. They're like, man, this shit is great. You hear these beats?
Yeah. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, did Nas work with Madlib, Warren G, Prince Paul, or Ninth Wonder officially? Are there any Nas Madlib records out there?
Be fascinating.
I would like to hear Nas with Ninth Wonder. It's hard for me to believe that Nas hasn't worked with Ninth Wonder.
Me too. I mean, where do you have Madlib, Mike? Maybe like
Madlib's an interesting character, man, because he is he's kind of alchemist-ish without a Keep It Thorough and in those records. I think he's a
so where would that put him?
he's
That's
a
what I'm saying.
trailblazer. He's a trailblazer in the underground scene, and that's always it's kind of weird to kind of try to put somebody who's a trailblazer in the underground scene, sort of like Doom, in with all of the other guys.
How underground is he for the people that he worked with? He's worked with Freddie. He's worked with Black Star. Like how underground is he really at this point? He's not really underground to me anymore. He's a producer. And
No More Parties in LA is crazy.
No, we need to strip that underground tag off and just put it like straight up and down. It's like, do this nigga make better beats than like Alchemist, Hit Boy, Metro? Do we?
I could say yes. I mean,
you think so?
I mean, listen, I think that the highlight...
So that would make him top 10 consideration, wouldn't it?
In my opinion, on the Pablo album, I think No More Parties in LA is probably the highlight.
That's not saying a lot.
I like that album. That album's dope.
I like how you say, I like that album. That album is dope.
That album is dope.
Listen to what I'm about to say. Oh, yeah, it's dope. What is that album in relationship to The College Dropout, Late Registration, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Graduation? Is it dope to you now?
It's last.
Right. And so if that's the best beat, hold on, if that's the best beat, tell me where that beat falls on that other classic gay shit, not on no Pablo album.
Okay, I'll give you that. I think No More Parties in LA is definitely greatest hits material. And I think that,
greatest hits?
Kanye would
Madlib's greatest hits? Yes, Kanye's greatest hits.
Ye would have to have a double disc of greatest hits. But if that song was, let's just say that song's on College Dropout.
You think that's one of Ye's 20 best records?
Oh man, I don't know.
And you can't. If it's not one of Ye's 20 best records, that's like the whole Teddy Riley with the Michael Jackson bad thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I feel what you're saying.
No More Parties in LA. It's like, oh, if that's your hot shit that you got with Ye, understand that your hot shit with Ye isn't like registering like on that all-time level, like his off-the-wall Thriller shit.
This is what I'll say. If that song is on the College Dropout, it stands out. If that song is on Late Registration, it stands out.
But it stands out in relationship to what, Mike? It's not it's not one of the 5 best beats on. It's not even one of the 7 best beats on either one of those albums, Mike. On either one of those albums, it's not even a top 7 beat in my opinion.
No More Parties in LA is kind of crazy, Coop. I don't know. Deontay Smith.
You think it's better than crack music? Watch this. Is it better than crack music?
I think so.
Now you're bugging. All right.
I think so, and I love crack music.
We out. No. I'm done. I'm gonna let you have it. You win. I don't have to argue with somebody that says if I'm arguing with somebody that's saying that, I don't feel like arguing anymore.
Deontay Smith with the super chat says 2022 is supposed to be the year Kendrick was smoking on our top 5. LOL. Oh, the arrogance. Yeah, it was supposed to be that year, huh? Eric Terrell says Anita Baker versus Sade. 20 songs. Who you got? I got Sade because Anita Baker has me blocked on Twitter. I don't know why. Can y'all ask Anita Baker to unblock according to hip hop? I don't know what we did to Anita Baker. I love Anita Baker.
We still unblocked? I sent her a tweet and asked her to unblock us. I don't know what we did. I told her I sent her a hashtag and said I apologize.
I apologize. I see what you did there. Let me look up Anita Baker right now. Let me see if we live. Baker. Yeah. I think we're still blocked, man.
We're still blocked?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna hit her up. I don't think I'm personally blocked. Maybe I can forge a relationship. You want to know
Let's see what's going on, man?
I was thinking about. Hold on, Station Head, Mike. I may pull up tonight. Would you think I should pull up tonight, Mike, on Station Head? I was thinking about pulling up tonight.
I think so. Yeah, Anita Baker still got us blocked.
I think I'm gonna pull up with like a little Purple Tape Friday, like play some real hip hop shit, about 20 songs deep worth, talk a little shit, and be out. But you know, Mike, I was thinking about doing this other show. It's called Dedication to My Exes, where I'm gonna be real ratchet and play love song and talk about all my exes. And we can fit some Anita Baker in there. Maybe we just need to give Anita Baker some love, some streams, and I'll talk some shit. dedication to my ex is probably going to be on a Sunday night. Going to talk some shit about my exes. All of you. None of you are safe. And
listen, man, Anita Baker, if you or your people are listening, whatever you took out of context, I definitely apologize for. I love you. My mother loves you. My wife loves you. We love your
my
music.
family loves you. Yeah. I have you on vinyl. Your vinyl record is sitting right here.
I got your
Rapture
vinyl
sitting right here on
too.
vinyl. Right, Rapture is sitting right here.
Yeah, I got Rapture
vinyl.
right here too.
My family is from Youngstown, Ohio on one side. You're from the D. We're almost cousins.
Let me know whatever our Twitter page did to you, Anita Baker. We'll make a public apology. But yeah. LP with the super chat says, Hank Shockley, one of the most underrated ever. Definitely. Shout out to Hank Shockley, man. That Public Enemy production, shit was crazy. Chaotic, and they made it all make sense. You know, I think De La Soul, what Prince Paul did was kind of a derivative of that chaotic production style, but they did it in more of a laid-back way, which was interesting. 36 Chambers says, y'all may not like Doom like that, but his Madlib beats are incredible and so versatile. If Madlib isn't top 10, he's top 15 for sure, in my opinion. I'm a Doom fan. Maybe not a super Doom fan, but, you know, I fuck with Doom.
You want to know what? I told you what, Mike. This, hold on. Let's wrap up with this Buster. Maybe we can have a quick producer conversation.
Yeah. So, as far as this Buster, what were some of your highlights, and what do you want to rate this thing? And should we be rating EPs?
I don't think we should rate the EP. Because it's 5 songs. And it's like, and here's what I mean by 7 songs and why I'm okay with Daytona. And this is where people are going to be okay with Daytona too. You understand Paid in Full is only 7 songs of rock and rap, and you're okay with that.
It really is.
7
I
songs
guess people
of rock
wanted
and rap.
Kanye to throw in 2 or 3 interludes.
And that's the barometer. Right. Paid in Full's the barometer. So you can do 7 songs and make a classic album as an MC. Because Paid in Full is the evidence, okay? So we have early evidence of it. So don't tell me that 7 rap songs is too short. But 5 is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so can't rate it. But here's what I will tell you. Mike, I listened to Slap Again. And I'm going to tell you why I wanted to have the verse of the year contender conversation. Because I think that Kane verse is a verse of the year contender.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now, too. Kane on Slap.
Kane on Slap.
Because Kane got busy. Got busy.
Kane on Slap.
Nasty. Yeah, Kane on Slap.
All right, so we got Kane on Slap. We got J. Cole on Johnny P's Caddy.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So overall, I enjoyed this like you did. I love the energy. Now, here's what I'll tell you. Here's where you have to appreciate somebody like a Method Man or a Nas or a Raekwon. Busta sounds different vocally. And you can tell. Now, that nigga Meth sound about 25. Nigga Nas sound about 23. Nigga Ray sound about 27. Busta sounds his age. And that's really the only knock that I can give this project outside of it being short, is that vocally he's not where he used to be. And I think part of why ELE has a different vibe, Mike, is because I don't think vocally he can provide the same energy that he used to provide. And I think some of that, vocally, what we're hearing is all the years of the yelling and the screaming and the ranting, because he's not just doing it on the mic. He's been doing it on stage for a long time too, Mike. It takes effect on you when you have. It's like the way Rafael Nadal plays tennis. People have always said, well, it's going to be hard to hold up like that for a long time when you play that rough, hard style on these courts the way that you do. It's been a miracle that he's held up and been able to win at the level that he has. But with Busta's case, I think all the yelling and the screaming and all the years of it and all the rah, rah, rah that you're talking about that you love, I think it's affected him vocally, Mike.
Busta vocally is a 101. Like, nobody, and I say this all the time when we talk about rap voices, no one can execute on that victory hook like that. Like, you just can't. Vocally, you can't. No one can execute on that wow.
Performed that and what it's done.
Nobody can execute on that Wild for the Night hook like that.
But think about all those times of performing it, what it's done. Right.
Yeah. I mean.
And so when you're hearing stuff like, and this is why I enjoyed ELE too. Well, it's easier for him vocally to do a record like Master Fard Muhammad with Rick Ross, or Don't Go with Q-Tip, or the intro with Rakim. It's easier vocally for him to do those records now. That's why you get those more mellow records now. He can't go give you that ELE experience again, Mike. Like vocally, like in the end, it's too much. He's
you remember on the first ELE, everybody rise? That New York, Philly, everybody.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, he can't do that.
That shit is crazy.
He can't do that anymore. Because he already did it and it's taking a toll.
Now,
this is where, and not to compare, because they are comparable in age and even kind of come up. This is where you can hear KD3 vocally and realize how special Nas really is.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate that stuff. Yeah,
the voice, just off the strength of the voice sounding the same. It's like he said on Rich and Black, the God voice pristine, like I'm still 17. Like it really is, Mike. He really still sounds young vocally, but when you look at it, how Nas been rapping this whole time. I never brag. How real I keep it, because it's the best secret. I rock a vest, prestigious. Right.
We got a lot of bars in this episode.
It's sort of like the conclusion, the color purple. Niggas is losing confusion for one time more pursuit movement. Grabbing niggas up in this movement.
Smooth shit. Cop versus the block. Shorties get school
quick. Lesson number one, if you arrested and hung where niggas is from, gotta keep a lid on your tongue. It's like silent murder. I hit blunts hard like Ray Mercer. Well, Mike, vocally, your breath control has to be there. But as far as like your vocal cords, Mike, they're not being stretched. Your breath control is being stretched, not the cord. Right. That's why AZ sound the same, Mike.
Yeah.
Visualizing the realism of life and actuality.
Fuck who's the baddest? A person's status depends on salary.
He's not stretching his vocal cords. He's stretching his breath control. Busta been stretching his vocal cords and his breath control for like 30, 35
levels,
years.
Though. And I don't think we would have so much epic material if he didn't do that. And, you know, he gave it up, man. I got to give it to him. Vincent Hughes with the super chat says, "Are we getting
give me up for the game?"
They got a question for you, Coop. Vincent Hughes says, "Are we getting Henny Coop on Sunday?" LOL.
Oh no! That's gonna be like mellow Coop. Nobody's gonna be in the house. It's gonna be a nice little slow midnight burn. I scheduled the show tonight for 11 o'clock, Mike. I call it a little Purple Tape Friday. We're just gonna do a little quick playlist.
Ah, shit's gonna be crazy.
Right.
What is your favorite song on Purple Tape? I know we kind of go back and forth.
Well, when I say Purple Tape Friday, Mike, I'm talking about the feel of the music. So you gotta know what you're expecting. I want what we're doing to have a feeling. So when I'm saying Purple Tape Friday, it's like, well, we're not gonna play the Purple Tape per se, because I think that deserves more of a full breakdown with you and I, like going like all the way in with it. But that's that feel. Like that real hip hop feel when it's like, remember when you used to know certain times of night on a Friday, you knew you was gonna hear some real hip hop, regardless of what city or country or wherever you was at. You knew on Friday night you was going to hear some real rap shit. Not the shit that you had been hearing on the radio all week, but some real hip hop. Yeah, we got to start bringing that feeling back.
Yeah, get by your tape deck Fridays. 36 Chambers.
Ooh, I might change the name of the show to Bring Back Your Tape Deck Friday. I wonder if that'll fit in the character count on station.
I don't know if that'll fit in the character count. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Mike should title this video section A2HH apologizes to Anita Baker to unblock on Twitter. Yeah, I think I need to I might need to do a little separate video. I don't even know what to apologize for. I just apologize.
I don't know what we did.
I apologize. Willard with the super chat says, you guys should do an Anita Baker mock versus. That's the least y'all could do for the queen. But who would be the matchup?
You want to know what, Mike? I might have, we might have to end the Purple Tape night. We might have to end the Purple Tape Friday with a little Anita. Okay. I apologize to send it off.
Right. 36 Chambers says J. Cole's verse on London was also crazy. I agree with that. 36 Chambers says J. Cole's verse on London was crazy too. Is that
It was.
I think so too. I think that might.
You can have two verse of the year contenders in a year. I'm cool with putting that down again. I told you Cole has had a hell of a year without dropping an album.
What about CeeLo's verse on Earth Gang's album?
Did you think it was verse of the year contender?
I need to go back and listen. I just
that's the thing. Some of the
impressed.
Stuff, it's like some of the stuff, and this is what I mean about verse of the year contender. The stuff that we already got to go back and listen to, well, we know it's probably not going to be verse of the year.
Okay.
What do you think about?
Go ahead.
What do you think about Benny's verse on Blow for Blow?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blow for Blow is a crazy record, man.
it is.
That's in the song of the year category right there.
It is. It is. We can have that conversation maybe
Yeah.
next week. But
Yeah.
like, I felt like Benny's verse on Blow for Blow deserves some verse of the year consideration.
Blow for Blow is nuts.
Because he's precise on there, Mike. His precision on there. He's like that. That's him in his pocket and his element, and he delivers on a high level.
Black Thought on Aquamarine.
I already have that down. Actually, my question about Thought on Aquamarine is which verse?
I was gonna say the first verse.
Me too. Okay, so we're cool.
Ethan Hill with the super chat says King Crooked's pen went crazy this year on 2 projects. Man, Crooked be going crazy. Period. Melvin Wright with the super chat says Snoop should be in the top 5 of Versatile. Okay, I think he is.
We covered that.
I can't really, I can't really make an argument for Method Man over Snoop over such a long period of time. And like I said, Snoop got Sensual Seduction. Anita versus Shaka Khan. Who?
I think that's a little bit more fascinating. I think Sade got Anita, but I don't know about that. I don't know about Shaka.
I'll take Shaka Khan's catalog. I know Shaka's catalog very well. 2 of my mom's favorite singers.
I love me some Shaka.
Yeah, I love Shaka too. Very unique.
Have you ever watched the dude from Jay and Silent Bob explain his meeting with Prince and how he's supposed to do a documentary for Prince?
Mm-mm.
Well, one of the things is that, like, you know, Prince goes into this riff, and part of the riff is he starts talking about how Shaka Khan got repressed by the industry. And he's like, you think Shaka like that? He like, no, Shaka mad. Shaka real mad.
CJ Kidd says, you guys need to list Nas top 10 verses. Well, we might do a Nas top 5 verses when we do our show.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we're supposed to do some top 5s this weekend.
Yeah.
So y'all might actually be seeing some Nas stuff make its way into our top 5s, depending on how much recording time we got when I fucking roll up.
Or, you know, we could kind of just, we'll work it out. But, you know, even if you shoot me some and I can just, you know, film it or whatever, I don't know.
Right. I mean, just off the top of my head, the second verse to I Gave You Power immediately comes to mind. I think, Rewind would count, wouldn't it?
I guess it does.
One verse.
It is one verse.
Right. Verbal Intercourse.
Yeah, that's number 1, you think?
Probably. A lot of people still feel like the Live at the Barbecue verse is up there. I don't know if I would put it in his top 5 at this point, me personally.
No, I mean, it's the impact, but it's not. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would say it's not even his top 5 verse, you know?
Right.
I mean? Yeah.
Like, I actually think his lyrics on the Cool G Rap Fast Life shit is better, like, technically speaking.
Well, maybe the top, we could do.
It's got a lot of verses
features.
though, Mike. What Goes Around? Which verse? Like the whole What Goes Around song. I think maybe the second verse on What Goes Around.
I was gonna say that's the verse that stands out the most.
Right. The second verse on What Goes Around.
What Goes Around is crazy. I think that's one of his best songs.
I told you it's a top 10 Nas song. Top 10. It's the best song on Stillmatic, and that's with Rewind being on there. I'm going to say that again. What Goes Around is the best song on Stillmatic, and that's with Rewind being on there. You're the Man is on there.
You're the Man was always
One Mike is on there. Ether's on there. The Flyest is on there. None of that shit's better than What Goes Around. When that
You're
shit
the Man
comes
was
on,
always my favorite, though, but I feel you. What Goes Around hits different because that's the Nas I like, personally.
I think outside of Made You Look, I think Salah did that beat. I think that's Salah Remy's second best beat next to Made You Look, too, that he gave Nas.
That's one of them songs. Crazy. That's one of them songs that I'm not even listening to the beat like that. I'm listening to him.
Go listen to the beat. Go listen to how the beat drop. It sound like some Premier meets like some like down south nigga ass like the shit crazy. The shit crazy. What Goes Around is like one of his 10 best records.
Jay Short says Anita versus Toni Braxton or Sade versus Maxwell. I like the Toni Braxton thing. From a vocal standpoint, I think that Toni was the Anita of her era. Singing that tenor.
I can see that.
36 Chambers says Yasin on Yonders versus possible contender. Yeah, I got Yasin on Yonders.
Okay, I'm going Yasin on Yonders.
I'm gonna have to look at that track list again for their album. What's the second song? That's what they performed on SNL. His verse on there was crazy. You know what song I'm talking about?
Not keep the main thing, but the
Nah.
other one.
Yeah, let me look up the No Fear of Time track list because I want to be accurate here. And the only reason why I don't, know the, track list off the top of my head is because, we don't have a lot of access to it. But, I don't want to go there. Of time track list. Maybe somebody in the chat can help us. Oh, So Be It. That record.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, he went crazy on there. They killed it on SNL, man.
No, I watched it. I watched actually clips of the whole show and everything.
What did you think about their performance?
No, it was really dope. They did a great job.
Yeah,
I was
both of
super
them.
impressed. Sounded great live, especially keep the main thing. The main thing sounded wonderful live. They were brilliant. They were on point. Vocally sharp. What do you think about Talib's verse on Peppers off the West Side Gun album?
I think that's a verse of the year contender.
I do too. He smashed Peppers.
Black Star is doing their thing this year. Black Star needs some sort of group of the year or something. I mean, it would be between them and Earth Gang, but I think that Black Star deserves them.
I fundamentally have a problem with giving a group of the year that hasn't made their album available for the masses.
I feel you.
I do.
We've had this conversation,
and they can explain it however they like and however much they want. I'm just not the type of cat that's trying to hear it. Like, I ain't trying to hear it.
I will say this though.
I ain't trying to hear it.
I applaud their strides in getting on SNL and performing these records.
Me too.
But I think that the lack of exposure for these songs made it where those performances weren't appreciated in the way that they could have been, unfortunately. And we appreciated it because, again, we had a window into that material. We listened to the material. We reviewed it. We talked about it over and over. So when those songs hit, we were excited about it. For most people, that was the first time them ever hearing it. And hearing it on that stage, it's like, oh, that was dope. And then you just move on. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't stick with you in that way because there's no access to, I don't want to say no access, but very limited access to it. Melvin Wright with the super chat says Braveheart Party was removed due to Mary J. Blige's voice. What's the whole deal with that, though? How did that happen? Do you know the story behind Braveheart Party being removed?
It's whack.
That's not why it was removed, though.
It wasn't removed for being whack. That's the reason that it should have been removed, though. There is no other reason. Mike, when it disappeared, I didn't ask questions. Mike, when a nigga that you don't like disappears, you don't ask questions about why the nigga disappears.
You just assume.
Let the nigga stay home.
You just assume when it was no longer there, it's like, oh yeah, they took this off because it was whack.
I'm going to say this again. When a nigga that you don't like is not around anymore, you don't go ask him where he is.
Like,
you let that nigga stay gone.
Well, see, this is the thing, though. When we were listening to the album on the Patreon, right?
What are we doing? No, that nigga gone.
When we were listening to the album on the Patreon, it clearly didn't fit on that album.
It's clearly the worst song between the two albums that we played. It's like the level that song was on versus everything else, even on Stillmatic, versus everything on KD3. It's like, didn't you hear, Mike, almost everything we played was like an 8 or above. And then there's this 3.
Mary always has a lot of feeling when she sings. Like, I think that's that's a big part of just her draw. But on that song, Mary didn't even sound excited.
It's bad. The beat is bad. The hook is bad. The verses are bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Michael Williams with the super chat. And you know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest, guys. That's why I put KD3 over that album. That's the tiebreaker for me. Honestly, like, that song is so bad that it has
Even though it's not on the album, you will not resign yourself to putting that album ahead of KD3 because of that.
It's
Absolutely.
On the album, though. Just like how Kendrick just put the Heart Part 5 on this album, it's not on the album.
I told you it's reverse engineering of the same thing.
It's not on the album.
What do you think about Nas's second verse on WTF SMH where the beat switches?
I think that's a verse of the year candidate. I think that's probably the best verse on the album. What do you guys think out there?
Yeah, I want to hear if we had any KD3 verse contenders. I think WTF SMH, that second verse, is the verse contender. And I think it's the verse that strikes the most chord this year because of how he ends it.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, imagine a coach took over a team containing the GOAT player, who was late into their career and led them to a four-peat, and the team improved every season. That's the equivalent of what Hit just did.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. So when I said Hit Boy was top 10, this is why. Didn't Madlib make an album with Freddie Gibbs?
He did. They made
Didn't
some good
Alchemist
albums.
make an album with Freddie Gibbs?
Mm-hmm.
What's the better album? The job of the producer is not just to make a dope beat, it's to make the artist better.
I think that's fair. Alfredo's better than they made 2 albums together. Yeah.
Yeah. And and he just walked in and made Alfredo in like a week. And that was go ahead and wrap that up.
Well, Alchemist is
Who
special.
talking? This is what I'm saying. When y'all be talking this, it's like, understand this is like, okay, then explain to me if he's top 10 while Alchemist walked in and made Alfredo with a week with Freddie, and it's Freddie's, like, clearly Freddie's magnum shit.
I can't argue with that. 36 Chambers says, does the last verse on Crack Sandwich by J.I.D. qualify? We forgot about J.I.D.
Which one?
The last verse on Crack Sandwich with his family fighting in the streets.
You want to know what? I'm cool with J.I.D. Crack Sandwich. This is why we asking y'all. Because you want to know what? This is saving me about 14 to 17 hours of music listening.
It says, with his family fighting in the streets and having to tell their parents imagery, song was hard.
No, Crack Sandwich is pretty special. Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think J.I.D.'s album is better than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? Like, just be perfectly honest.
It's not a question of that. It's not.
I mean, we gotta go through the steps because I know you were getting a lot of heat for saying that, Kendrick didn't have a top 10 hip hop album in 2022, but
it's not good. Ain't nobody playing that shit. The people that's saying that it is a top 10 hip hop album ain't playing the shit.
36 Chambers says, why you ain't proud of Nas? Yeah, that's a wrap. Yeah. This is what I'm gonna say though. If Mr. Morale is a top 10 hip hop album in 2022, like, what albums do you think that we need to bump out of that top 10 to make place for it? Because we can name 10 straight up, right?
Hold on, Kim. Okay.
You want to name that 10?
Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, no. Let's go ahead and do it. Since it's like kind of being put on the table.
Cheat Code.
Yep.
No Fear of Time.
Yep.
All right. Ghetto Gods.
Yep.
Ghetto Gods is better? Okay.
Yeah.
The Forever Story.
Yep, J.I.D. That's 4.
No, that's 5. We got KD3.
Hold on, where you at?
I got KD3, Cheat Code, No Fear of Time.
I didn't hear you say KD3. 5. Okay.
All right. The Forever Story. Ransom's album.
Yep. No One Mourns the Wicked. 6. Che Noir, Food for Thought.
All right. Soul Sold Separately.
Yep. 8. Hitler Wears Hermes. 10.
All right.
The Rome Streets, Mike.
Yeah.
That's 10.
That's 10.
The Liz 2. 11.
Mm-hmm.
Pusha T Till It's Almost Dry. 12. You feel me?
Okay. Almost Dry. And you got the Liz 2. What about Benny and Conway?
Tana Talk 4 is better. And so is God Don't Make Mistakes, in my opinion. It's 14.
Okay.
So here's where I start asking questions. What do you think about Vince Staples' Ramona Park?
I love Ramona Park.
15. Look, 15.
You got Ramona Park over it?
And so do you, Mike, and so do everybody in Cali.
I need to go back and listen to Ramona Park, but when I listened to it the first time, I remember loving that album.
Ramona Park, a banger.
Yeah.
So we're at 15 right now, Mike. Think about that. Games album, Mike. Oh, Mike, we forgot about Lupe. Drill Music in Zion.
Drill
16.
Music in Zion is definitely better.
Drill Music in Zion might be top 10, Mike.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is too.
Drill Music in Zion.
Mike, what about the Meth?
I like the Method Man album, but I think his bar work was crazy on there. Do you think? I think the Kendrick's album. I don't know.
The Czarface.
Czarface.
What about the Game album?
The Game album had a
lot.
lot.
What I'm saying?
It's an interesting
We're at
year.
16 right now, Mike, and we didn't put Meth, Czarfest, or Game down. And you're telling me this is the top 20 rap album this year? Are you sure?
Let's go to the people because Nick Miller says "Thun" is the song.
You're getting out hall passes like a motherfucker.
Nick Miller says "Thun" is the song. Period. 100.
Oh, Mike, the DJ Shay album.
DJ Shay album was dope.
The Shay album better than the Kendrick album. That's 17.
Vincent Hughes with the super chat says Beyonce's verse on "Stars." I'm sorry, not
terminology,
Beyonce.
Mike.
Y'all
the Paul
seen
Wallen
Dave's
terminology, Mike.
Huh? Oh, the
Paul Wallen terminology from start to finish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Vincent Hughes says, "I seen Bay's verse on Stars." Is that a verse of the year contender?
No.
Man with the super chat.
Album, Mike.
KRS. Yeah, we got to put him out here. Man says 30, Reminisce, Thun, Hood to Hood, Michael and Quincy on repeat. It's great songs. People saying Mr. Morales booty. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go through some of these songs that we listed and let me know. I want to see what the people say that Mr. Morales is better than. We got a list of like 17 right here, and some of them we even left off. Okay, 18 now. Jay Short says, "What do you guys think about these beat switches? I'm old school and I hate them, especially in KD3. Only time I liked it was on 1,000,001 Rhyme No More." I hate to be a get off my lawn person, but I see what Jay Short is saying. I like them in certain instances, but like I told you, I think I told you when we were reviewing KD3, they didn't need to do that on Reminisce, to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, respectfully to both of y'all, and here's what I'll tell you. You are both old. The attention spans are shorter, and you need to get over it. This is doing to keep the interest of a younger listener. Nobody cares about your old ass anymore.
What did you think about the Logic album?
I'm not putting Kendrick ahead. I'm not putting Logic ahead of Kendrick. That's where I draw the line. That's where I'm drawing the line.
Why? No, man. No. Let's not do that.
Line.
The Logic album.
Like, there go the line right there. So he's going in at about 1920.
No, the Logic album was dope.
The Logic album is better than the Kendrick album? Have you gone back and played the Logic album, Mike? It's not that dope. It's
listen, I'm gonna keep it real. I haven't gone back and played either
good.
album.
It's not like you wasn't like itching to like play it again.
Logic did a lot on that album. I like the Logic album.
Kendrick did a lot on his album, Mike. I told people in a chat that I was in, I was like, I had to listen to it because it's my job to review it. But about a third time of listening to Kendrick, I felt like I was being subjected to some sort of Cambodian torture, and it's just not fair to put somebody through that.
So
it's not fair to ask somebody to listen to Kendrick album 3 straight times. And if you can't listen to somebody's album 3 straight times, the album's probably not good. Cambodian torture method.
What did you have against the Logic album? I'm usually the one that's tough on Logic. I couldn't say anything bad with it. The production is there. Vinyl Days
you want to know what?
good.
I didn't even want to have this conversation, Mike, because you want to know what my problem really is? It's the problem that you have with Eminem. I don't feel it. It's like I don't feel connected to it. It's like I don't. Okay. So problematic.
Okay.
Oh my glasses back on. I can't see shit.
36 Chambers with a super chat says, the beat switches in KD3 are some of the best I've heard. Hit Boy even touched on that in the Ebro interview. They match Nas' flow perfectly and naturally. Okay. Mad Max says, you got to listen to Dub Aurora. This one's on me. He had a dope album.
Okay, here's what I would like to do right quick before we get too far off into the album thing. And since we're talking about the albums, we're talking about verse of the year stuff. So it's like we have some albums covered. Does Pusha T have a verse of the year contender on It's Almost Dry?
His brother does.
Yes, he does. You're actually right about that. What's the name of that record again? Because I haven't listened to the Pusha album in a minute.
It's been a minute. Hold on one second.
It's been. You want to know why it's been a minute though, Mike? Yeah, you know why.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says,
I want to shout out Randall that's been like doing such a good job of boasting about Pusha T and Hove when it's Escobar season, nigga, shame on you, and shame on the niggas in the group that we're in that's riding with you, Randall. Shame on you. Like, you know who I'm talking about.
Randall's
shame
going
on you,
in.
Randall. You getting personal shout outs for being a hater out in this bitch.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, Luminary platform contributes to Black Star's lack of exposure. It's
I pray for you.
He said it's clunky, not user friendly, and just overall not built for a music streaming platform. I have the yearly subscription and I regret it. I'm gonna read that again, and I'm not reading this as a hater. I just want, Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, Luminary platform contributes to Black Star's lack of exposure. It's clunky, not user-friendly, and just overall not built for a music streaming platform. I have the yearly subscription, and I regret it. You know,
Shout out to the adjective clunky being used as well.
The thing is, man, like, yes, when you have a podcast platform that's usually meant for vocals, it's a lot different when you add music into the mix. And you're adding all types of sounds and sonics that are in this audio platform. It's problematic. I mean, it's different when you're talking about Spotify, Apple Music, or Tidal. They're built for music. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Green with the super chat says Joey Badass album was dope. Also, her loss. What did you think about Joey Badass album and Mr. Morale?
Both of them were underwhelming. I'm going to give Kendrick the nod for writing.
Okay. Mad Max says this one on me better than Mr. Morale too. So is Sauce Walker. He said this one on me is better than Mr. Morale, and so is Sauce Walker's album. My bad, Coop. Go ahead. Say what were you saying?
No, Lupe, verse of the year contender.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty certain Lupe has a verse of the year contender somewhere in there because it's Lupe.
He's got a lot of bars in there.
Right, so we need to go back and listen. So as far as verse of the year contenders, I'm just going to put drill music and Zion down, Mike, because I think we need to go listen again.
Well, I want the people to tell us what's the best verse on Lupe's album. I mean, it's a whole lot.
People have done such a great job of telling me what I don't know about Lupe. I hope they've been listening to drill music and Zion with fervor like they say that they do so that they can point it out to me.
Right.
Because I just say that to say that it's like I've listened to it and I know who he is, and so he probably has some shit in there.
Right.
You know? So which one is it? I don't mind going to listen to the album and identifying it for myself, but it's like I know we have a large constituency that follows him and adores him and even goes so far as to, make their YouTube names after his songs, a la Dumb It Down.
Rapster with the super
Bring
chat
says, Dumb It Down, your Lupe loving ass. Bring your ass outside.
I don't think Dumb It Down's in the room tonight. Rapster with the super chat says, did y'all listen to Mayhem Lauren's album with Griselda's Derringer?
I did.
I did not.
That shit was fire, actually. He's right. Or she was right. Going back on the list, I did listen to that. I listened to it on a whim one day when I was riding through the city, too, Mike.
AK's the Curtain says, Mr. Morale isn't better than Jeezy, Troll, or RG Payne's album. People like the Jeezy album.
The Jeezy album is solid, Mike. I tried to tell you it's a solid album. It's a good comeback album.
Maybe I'm just,
You were never the biggest Jeezy fan in to begin with, Mike. So it's like, here's the thing about it when it comes to Jeezy and you, it's like, well, how you gonna hop on a bandwagon that you was never on to begin with? You feel what I'm saying?
I guess I'm just not the person to ask.
Right, hell no.
Darren Harris with the super chat says, Swiss didn't clear Mary's vocals. Swiss did Braveheart Party?
Can you not tell that, Mike?
I guess, it's bad. It's
Mike,
bad.
PTSD, Mike. Let's not take
I'm going to say this, man.
Here we go.
I've never been a Swiss Beats fan like that. Is Swiss overrated or is he rated perfectly fine? Because
where do you have him? That's why I said let's have the producer conversation right quick when we get done with this.
Where do I have him?
No. Well, we're not asking where you have him.
Where does the culture have him?
You have Mike. You have him on Neptune, trying to get the Saturn about 30 to 50 years away from Earth before he can get in the top 90 producers. That's where you have.
I mean, the thing is, man, one of the greatest hip hop albums of its era and of all time, DMX's "Dark and Hell Is Hot." His presence on there was felt through, a huge single, but he got outproduced on that album. Like, so I don't know what his crowning hip hop achievement is. Is it Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood?
Yes.
And that is, I'm sorry, it
It's a
pales in
great album. It's
comparison.
pretty great.
Yeah, because he's great. DMX, that is.
Oh yeah, DMX is great.
Yeah.
One of the greatest rappers ever.
Andrew Green with the $20 super chat says best beat switches were to show that Nas and Hit were in their versatile bag and could do it all. Hit Boy is so versatile that he doesn't have a signature sound. All 4 albums sound different. Nas also skated on all those beat switches. Facts. We got Malcolm. I'm sorry, Mel Ka says Mr. Morale album of the year, all genres included.
Agent.
We appreciate the agent super chat.
Agent alert. Next.
Speaking of which, okay, I'm gonna go down the line. He said album of the year, right? So Mr. Morale is better than KD3. Cheat Code. No Fear of Time.
Yep.
Ghetto Gods. The Forever Story.
Yep.
No Sleep for the Wicked.
No one mourns the wicked.
No one mourns the wicked. I don't know why I wanted to say no sleep for the. All right. No one mourns the wicked. Food for thought.
Yep.
Hilarious Hermes 10. I tried to say that fast so the algorithm didn't catch me. Sold separately.
Yep.
Rome Streets album.
Yep.
It's Almost Dry.
Yep.
The Liz 2.
Yep.
Tana Talk 4.
Yep.
God Don't Make Mistakes.
Yep.
Ramona Park Broke My Heart.
Yep.
Drill Music in Zion.
Yep.
And I'll stop there. I want to know which ones y'all think that, Mr. Morales.
Where are we at? Isn't that 17?
No, I didn't go to all 17. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we could say Paul Wall and Terminology. What are automatically?
I was actually thinking that DJ Shay album.
Well, it's a compilation. That's why I left that out.
Okay, we can leave that off. That's cool.
Mad Max to the super chat says
things we got to do to slide this nigga in.
Mad Max says, I'm the night. I was born rain. Was pouring. God was crying. Lightning struck. Power outage. Spark was flying. A real one. Here, the young boy that walked with lions.
Oh, no, Mike. I got another one. Currency and Alchemist. Currency and Alchemist, Mike. Continuance.
Continuance. Okay.
Continuance is better than Mr. Morale. So that's at least 17.
Jay Short says, Logic versus M. Coop got Logic. Mike gets M.
Don't let them super chat anymore. You need to cash app us so that YouTube doesn't get 30% when you tell us some bullshit like that.
Hit the cash app $ according to hip hop. Yeah, Ethan Hill with the super chat says Nas, K. Saba, JID, and Freddie are my top 5 albums. I think that's
Saba was dope too.
I think that's a really good top 5. I don't know about the K. thing, but I feel you.
No, the Saba was good.
Yeah, it was. Mad Max says Eureka Einstein on the brink of a theory of relativity. Really no MC. Cole started with the supernatural birth, and then he went to rhyme schemes and punch fest. Leah M with the super chat says, who's going to see Nas at MSG on 2/24? Me. All right.
Hold on, Leah. Leah, do you have a date? Leah, do you have a date? Make an excellent companion.
Who's down to go?
Make an excellent companion, Leah. Mike can't go nowhere. Mike's engaged. All right, I'm free. Mike gonna be at home.
I gotta get to Madison Square Garden, man. I gotta get out there.
Leah, don't take Mike nowhere. All right.
36 Chambers.
We got some according to hip hop press passes currently working on those right now.
Right. 36 Chambers says Lupe, Miss Morale. Did you say Miss Morale? Said Lupe, Miss Morale might be a contender. Okay.
I'm no game. I'm a shooter. Shooters shoot. Okay? Tell you something about shooters. Shooters shoot. When Kevin Durant come in the gym, you know what he do? He shoot. You know what Steph Curry do when he come in the gym? Shoot. Right. Shoot. Yeah. Leah better tell you, man, I'm dangerous. Shoot.
Mad Max says, It's really close. With Cole got the verse of the year. Lyrics, entertainment, content. His verse had everything. Imagery, schemes, syllable, wordplay, tone. I think everybody's pretty much sold on J. Cole having verse of the year. How do you think
It
that J.
looks like
Cole's verse stacks up against Aquamarine's first verse?
it looks that way. It looks like people. It's funny, Mike. When we heard Johnny P's Caddy, we was like, "Oh, that's verse of the year," but it
Yeah.
looks like it's held in most people's minds.
Yeah.
So what say you about? Because I think when we were talking, Aquamarine and WTF SMH, the second verse is probably what we were talking about. But it seems like Johnny P's Caddy is taking precipice.
I think Cole doing. Oh, you know what we haven't mentioned, and this wasn't intentional. This really wasn't intentional.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention the God did verse.
Oh, that's because it doesn't belong here.
Oh man, come on, man. The God did verse has to be in the conversation, right? The God did verse had the game shook for a week.
Yes, we're all shaking still. I can feel it.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. Jay Short says, unpopular opinion. I enjoyed the Black Eyed Peas album more than the Black Star debut. I think Black Eyed Peas captured the native tongue spirit better. It was more entertaining, even though they aren't half the MCs. They're very creative. They were very creative. So you don't think that the God did verse registers? Vincent Hughes.
I'm sorry, Mike. Did you say something about a verse? What? What'd you
Vincent
say?
Hughes says Coop never saw a shot he ain't like.
I'm about to schedule, Mike. I'm about to register for some classes to get some certifications.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only registering that I'm doing right now. That shit don't register nothing. All right.
36
Registrar's
Chambers.
office. Nigga going to school.
36 Chambers says J. Cole London is up there with Johnny P's Caddy's verse for sure. Okay. All right. So y'all don't think that the guy did.
So people feel like Cole got two of the best verses of the year.
Yeah. Okay, so people don't put God Did's verse in the mix of this, right? I don't want to be missing anything. So God Did came and went after a few days. Okay. God Did verse overrated. Okay. I actually thought that, unpopular opinion, I'm sure, I thought that Lil Wayne's verse on God Did is very understated. I never really heard Wayne talk about his impact on the game like that.
Sneak attack.
And his current, just how impactful he is to the current generation. He's never really flexed that muscle, and I like the verse a lot.
Lil Weezy F on God Did. Okay, I'm going to put sleeper in parentheses, Mike.
But then, see, at that point, it looks like we're hating on Chicken Man, and that's not where it's coming from. I think that people are more excited about who was rapping the verse than the actual verse, and the length of the verse, too. And Leroy Green said a good point. He said the hesitance tells you it all. So, yeah, we were doing a whole show about verses, and no one in the chat was like, yo, y'all forgot the God Did verse. So
no, we didn't. Nobody forgot it because we didn't remember it. You get what I'm saying? Like, we didn't remember it the first time because it didn't register as a verse. Mike, didn't we talk about this behind the scenes when it dropped? I'm like, Mike, is this a verse of year contender? Because I don't want to seem like I'm tripping. He's like, you're not tripping. This isn't a verse of the year contender. He'd be like, that's crazy if somebody thinks this is the verse of the year contender. And that's what it is now.
God did and then went. Jay's verse, mid J verse. Laughing my ass off. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what verses are we forgetting. So right now it still looks like Johnny P's Caddy's in the league, right?
It's looking that way, Mike. What do you think about that? Because I kind of had it tentatively in third, but if people think that it's first, this is where the people matter. Now let's juxtapose it to the WTF SMH verse and the Aquamarine verse we're talking about.
I think that I would have it ahead of the WTF verse.
Okay.
Aquamarine, though. Aquamarine is more about the song to me. That verse is incredible. I think Aquamarine is more of a song of the year category.
I think Aquamarine is still. I mean, I think Aquamarine's only problem with Song of the Year is like all the shit that's on KD3. So it's like, yeah.
Now let's say this, man, and I want to be fair.
Like Mike, because
I want
when
to
I
be
hear,
fair.
how about this? When I hear WTF SMH in the Switch mic, I ask myself a very sincere question: can Nas do what Black Thought did on Aquamarine? Yes. Can Black Thought do what Nas did on WTF SMH? No. And that's where, and Mike and Quincy too. So it's like, that's where that song of the, like, because for me, the song of the year is the stuff that can't no other nigga do, really. You know what I'm saying? It's like George Bondo.
What about Neck and Wrist?
Oh, ain't no other crew rapping like that in 2020.
Right. What about Neck and Wrist verse though?
You want to know what? If you want to give the Neck and Wrist verse if you want to give both of the verses a look, I'm okay with that.
I feel like the Neck and Wrist verse, he was kind of hollering at people like us. I don't know.
No, he's definitely throwing shade. I just don't give a shit. It's like, nigga, make a dope rap album and like miss me with that bullshit. Like, I'm a different type of dude. It's like, I don't care who you are or like what you did.
Now,
like,
I think the hard part.
It's like, I love you, but it's like, fam. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is right now. This is rap. Like, you know what it is when it comes to this.
The fact that he mentioned the commission, we were the only people talking about that.
Right. Oh, no, Mike. It was definitely a cheap shot at you more than me. I'm glad that the cheap shot didn't fall my way. Usually when these niggas is talking shit, they usually talking about me.
Yeah, I think
glad they taking shots at you because you're the one that brought up the commission. You know? And I meant what I said. It's like, you're not better than Big. And if you would have been in the commission, you still be Beanie Siegel. And a bar don't change that. Bar don't change that.
It's true.
You can't make one more chance in Unbelievable. Right.
Well, the thing is, I think eventually he could have done those things. But at that point, let's just say the commission happens in what, 97, 98? Big is the guy. And there's there's nothing wrong with that. Like Scottie Pippen said, man, like, I got drafted to a team with Michael Jordan. I'm a great athlete, but goddamn, like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is. That's not even a diss. That's just factual stuff. But,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's Big,
What are you going to do?
It's Big coming off of Life After Death as well. What I was going to say,
that's greatest MC of all time type of stuff going on.
Right. The Heart Part 5. Is that verse of the year? It's one verse. We got to be fair. I think the Heart Part 5 should be in verse of the year contention.
Do you think so?
I do. I think,
okay.
I think that's
no.
verse.
I'm asking. I'm honestly asking. I haven't listened to it in a while.
I haven't. But I know it was great. Melvin Wright says Swiss Soul Nas the best with Mary's vocals on it. I guess the beat with Mary's vocals on it already. However, I think
that's why it sounds out of tune.
He said, however, I think Rule is the worst song on there. I didn't like Rule that much either. I love the sample. I love the Tears for Fears thing, but you know, it's not bad, but I understand where you're coming from. Marquez Davis with the super chat says Mike and Coop during the weekend. During the weekend, took a look at Juan Epstein and Peter Rosenberg's review on KD3 during the weekend. I guess they're saying go take a look at that. What did they say?
What did they say? I don't know.
Leroy Green said Hope took a shot at me. It's because of you, Leroy. I'm sure you passed on the message. Jay Short says, what about Pusha T on Freddie or Drillmatic? What
do you think about Freddie on I think Blackest in the Room and Space Rabbit are probably the like lyrically. What do you think about Pusha T on there?
That's what
Pusha T's verse.
That's what he was just saying. Pusha T
Gold
on
Rings?
Freddie. Yeah.
Oh, is that what he's talking about? Yeah, Pusha T's verse on Gold Rings. I'm okay with that. I like that verse.
That verse is hard. And like you said, it might be the best verse on the whole album. And I say that respectfully because Pusha T is who he is.
I like Freddie's verse on Blackest in the Room.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You think that's in there?
I'm going to have to go back and listen. But, you know, I'll trust your ears on this because I know you've listened to, Soul Separately a whole lot. I couldn't get past the DJ Paul record. I just kept playing that over and over. Reggie says, Mike and Coop, no love for Shay Noir's verse?
Which verse? That's why we're asking y'all. Like, tell us the verse. That's just like with the. How about this? Because how about this with
Rock Marciano on Quantum Leap.
Yeah, hold on with with Lupe and with Che and with Ransom, we probably need to go listen to the whole album again.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put Che's album down, just like I put Lupe's album down and put Ransom's album down.
I mean, it's just a lot of hip hop going on. And you know what?
It is.
We predicted this when Kendrick was taking this break. We were like, listen, man, like the game ain't at the place that it was in 2017. You know, when you were able to come out here, put out an album and dominate, like it's a lot of rapping going on, man. And this is proof positive of it. I mean, I'm just going to be real. I'm not hating or anything. He doesn't have a top 10 album this year. I'm sitting there looking at the proof right now. I mean, do y'all think that Mr. Morale's better than It's Almost Dry? Because that's around where the 10 spot is. Do y'all think it's better than...
Come on, that's what I'm saying. It's like, y'all got to be real.
Yeah, do y'all think it's better than Drill Music and Zion? Do y'all think it's better than Tana Talk 4? I mean, because that's where it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Because KD3, Cheat Code, No Fear of Time, Ghetto Gods, The Forever Story, I think that's out of the question.
Drill Music and Zion.
Yeah.
Ramona Park. It's like Ramona Park's better than Kendrick's album, Mike. You know it is. Like you can talk, like people can talk about. I'm gonna say this again. It's like, yeah, The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. That's some great writing. Go read that book and tell me how entertained you are. Tell me that you're captivated. Well, that it just holds you and you can't let it go. Because here's what I'm going to tell you, and I mean this respectfully, because I am one of these people. Oh, well, you're a reading and a writing nerd if you enjoy The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. The average motherfucker don't know. And that's exactly what this is. This ain't for the average. You made this for your therapeutic little constituency of highly intelligent users. And that's just not going to work because I'm actually one of those people, and it still didn't play well for me because I'm like, you from Compton. Where the shit that slaps?
Some of my favorite stuff on the album was The Big Steppers. Obviously, Silent Hill is actually my runaway favorite song on the album. But as dope as My Asoba and my Auntie's Diaries, excuse me, I was about to say my auntie's a man now. My Auntie's Diaries, as dope as those are from a writer's perspective,
right? You don't play.
I don't go back and listen to those. You know, I don't. I like N95.
I do like it too, Mike. But this is what I'm saying: is like if N95 is the best that you have to offer me, you're making my point for me.
I mean, the fact that they had to go back and put the Heart Part 5 on there says it all.
Rock Marcy on Quantum Leap, I think. I remember him on Quantum Leap.
I remember going crazy on Quantum Leap as well.
We're cool with that. I think you... Hold on, Mike. Tell me your thoughts on the Rock Marcy album. Is that a top 20 album? The Rock Marcy Alchemist? You think is the Kendrick album better than that?
I think the Kendrick album's better than that.
You were really hard on your boy, Mike. You know how you have come on here and saying Rock Marcy's praises. Literally guy. From the time that we've done this show, and the nigga finally drops an album, and you're like, I don't know about this, Coop. I was like, what the fuck?
Maybe I'm stuck on stuff like Emeralds, man. Like, I don't know. Our man with the super chat, shout out to our man. He be chiming in our Patreons and whatnot. He says, peace. What about Game's third verse on Home Invasion? He dropped some heat on that one. Okay, let's talk about Game because, you know, I've just got the general consensus that motherfuckers just don't like the Game, right? Because I thought it was some heat on that album. And maybe because he went out there and made, you know, the Black Slim Shady. Maybe that's why I don't know. I thought he had some dope shit on there. Home Invasion's crazy. I agree. Home Invasion, my favorite song was the record with YG, Outside. Shit's crazy, man. I think La La Land. Dope song. Like, we can't sit here and act like Game didn't drop heat. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. I'm listening to that album more than Mr. Morale. But if somebody wants to say Mr. Morale from a technical standpoint is better, that's cool. What say you, Coop?
Hell no. No.
Which album's better to you? The one with La La Land on it, right? Everybody want to go to La La Land. Because that record with
if we were to go right now to LA, Mike, if we were to go to LA right now, and I don't even mean the hood, I just mean LA, what do you think we're going to hear between the Game album and between the Kendrick album? What do you think we're going to hear when we outside? Like riding. Let's say we about to pull up on a swap meet, and then we gonna go to Slauson Barbecue. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna skate the Roscoe's, and then we gonna get like a little drop from my cuz who works out there, like to a little rooftop party late at night. Now when we're outside like that, Mike, and we're in these streets, Mike, we're gonna have to stop at a little dispensary. You know it's legal. Actually, matter of fact, Mike, we're not gonna have to stop. They actually deliver to you in Cali. So after we do all that, Mike, and we parlay, while all of this parlaying is going on, Mike, you think that what we're hearing outside, I can't please everybody. Like that's what you think when you in Cali that we about to hear? You think this is wild. I don't need to live in Cali to know that.
I think when we go out.
I used to live in Cali. I know. It's like, no, I know they're not writing this shit. I know when they put that tape in there, it's like, yo, they're like, the fuck this nigga? They're like, man, put that nip on, fam.
You go press play, niggas gonna be like,
put that nip on. They're like, put that nip on. Put that Roddy on. Put that game on. Be like, what the fuck this nigga just... Put this shit in and be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, come on, stop playing with me.
They go press play and be like, my auntie is a man now.
I got West Coast people. Ain't nobody hit me up talking about, yo, Coop, the Kendrick album fire. Ain't nobody hit me up saying that. Hey, they know better than they hit me up and say that.
Jay Short, when we get in the ride out there in L.A., we're going to hear my auntie is a man now, or we're going to hear La La Land.
Mike, it's Sunday afternoon. It's 2:00. Streets is watching. What we playing? Like, Mike, hold on. We in Cali to interview a local artist, let's say.
Yes,
we riding through LA. We
right.
Out of town.
Yeah.
Mike, when you come through LA and you out of town, niggas know you out of town. We playing Kendrick while we pull up as out of towners? Mike, you trying to get us robbed, nigga? No. Negative.
I can't please everybody.
I'm gonna need you to get me a black according to hip hop hoodie. Won't be wearing this red hoodie. Won't be wearing this shit at 2:00 on Sunday when we roll through the streets. Need a black according to hip hop hoodie. Gonna play some game. Gonna play some Nip. Not gonna play some Vince. Gonna play some. Might even play Roddy, and I wasn't even feeling right. But we're not about to play this.
Marquez Davis with the super chat says Nas KD3 just dropped to 92. These reviews is trying to be slick.
I told you the reviews were gonna drop while we were doing this show. For one,
has anybody dropped the review?
Mike, we could play We Want Easy and we would be all right, but we could not put this album on and be okay. As I'm trying to be like, oh, look at these out of town ass niggas. I don't know what's going on.
Well, listen, let me know or let us know, guys that are in Cali right now. What songs on Mr. Morale are out there banging in Cali? I mean, I just want to know.
Nigga, Leroy in Cali.
Yeah,
niggas that know I don't play that shit. The Bay in Oaktown is like the blackest area in California. Niggas up there playing the Kendrick Leroy.
Well, see, we just got accused of toxic masculinity.
Ain't Uncle on the West Coast? Ain't Uncle Fram ain't Uncle on the West Coast too? Nigga, what?
What you're doing, Coop, is exhibiting toxic masculinity.
No, man. I'm calling a whack out and whack, which other niggas ain't doing. That's what I'm doing.
You know what? Hip-hop is full of toxic masculinity. I mean, if not for toxic masculinity, hip-hop wouldn't be where it is, unfortunately. Michael Williams with the super chat says, what do you think of Nas saying, my old style is a rough of my new style? Maybe it's because I'm getting older and my palate is changing, but this is my favorite version of Nas ever. I think the versatility can be very pleasing to the ears, especially like, you know, when you're current and you're really listening to what's going on currently, and to hear somebody that you know has all those talents and lyrical abilities being able to adjust. Like, it's awesome to see. Like, it's awesome to see, you know, people like LeBron be able to transition to today's game. You know what I mean? Like, when you saw LeBron going out there just hitting threes, it's like, damn, he's really adjusting to today's game. Now, is that the best version of LeBron? Maybe, maybe not. That's debatable. But it looks good to see somebody being able to add to their repertoire. And I think that's kind of what that is.
I'll say this version of Nas that we're seeing is my most favorite version to appreciate, because I'm old enough and grown enough to appreciate it. Like, the guy that made Illmatic, like, I was 13 and 15 when Illmatic and It Was Written came out. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And so And for a lot of us that grew up on him like that, it's like, well, that's the bar and the expectation. And what people really don't understand, and this is what I mean about what Illmatic and It Was Written is, lyrically and song-wise, it's the equivalent of lightning striking twice in the same place. And so your thoughts and your opinions and your views of it are jaded because of that. But for him to have the career and have the ups and downs that he's had, and this is what I mean about the ups and the downs. Show me a motherfucker that's been dissed by Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, 50, and Cameron is still walking around. Fuck being the best MC. Show me the dude that's still standing upright after those things 20 years later.
That's a lot.
And then you go to the actual music part of it. No, this is my favorite version to listen to, even if you... That 96, that 95, 96 dude, that's the greatest MC of all time. But this guy is a semblance of that guy, and he's more agile than that guy. Like, how about this? The Michael Jordan that could go get 9 in Boston Garden, 63 in Boston Garden? The guy that can go get 63 in Boston Garden wasn't smart enough to have those sequence of plays that he had against Utah in 1998. You remember the sequence where he stole the ball from Karl Malone and then went down the court and scored and put the game in that position for him to close it?
That experience, man.
88 Mike can't do that. 86, 87, 88 Mike can't do that. Oh, 98 Mike is like so like supreme, Mike, with the way that he looks at the game and thinks that he's like, we're down by 6. There's a minute, 20 seconds. Like, we're about to win this fucking game. Watch. And can actually go do it. That's what KD3 and KD2 and Magic is. It's the guy that's mastered the game. That's like, I can go do it at will and go beat you, right?
Yeah.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
The guy with talent without talent you. When you gave him a team, he won. This is the guy that can literally, it's the end of the game, Mike. He's like, I know exactly what I need to do to go end this game, and I'm about to go end it like by myself. Scotty's not playing well. I don't trust anybody.
He's got a bad back. Yeah.
This is what KD3 is. And so it's like, just like you remember MJ with the last shot. No, this is it. This is how I want to remember him. This is the last three-peat. This is the last run. This is 96, 97, 98. This KD3 is the shot, Mike, in Utah. It's the shot in Utah.
Well
it's the last sequence of plays. Like you got to look at it. It's like, that fourth quarter, game 6 in Utah, that's what KD3 is to me.
And
it's the fourth quarter in game 6. It's like that nigga scored like 15 points in that quarter, Mike. He's like, no.
Jay Shore with the super chat says, Coop, Kendrick made that album for the new LA, quote unquote.
Okay. Tell the new LA, I said, take their ass back inside until they turn back into the old LA that I used to live in.
Michael Williams with the super chat says,
back in the house. Don't nobody want that hippie, like yuppie, like hotep ass. Like, no, nigga.
Michael Williams says, the reviewer for Hot 97 called KD3 yet another classic for Nas/Hit Boy. I was very surprised they were honest.
They didn't have a choice, Mike.
They're honest because you guys are on their head.
The album is stellar. We've been up that ass. Mike, the music is flawless. Think about this. Most people have Stillmatic somewhere between 2 to 5 in this man's catalog, and we're pulling up, and it's like, it's probably better than Stillmatic. They really don't have a choice, Mike.
Ethan Hill with the super chat says, M's verse on Dre's EP, Crook's verse on Look Mama. Okay. Write those down. Marquez Davis with the super chat says, Ben DeVille's did the review, gave it an 80. Much OMH did it. Starts off with something like Nas is not the perfect rapper in 2022. You know what? We might have to go get him too. Let me write this down.
Who is this?
Ben DeVille. It's like Devlin. I think Ben Devlin.
Ben.
Ben Devlin. You got a Twitter, Ben? And the publication is Music.
Does Twitter still exist? Because we've been on air for a couple of hours. We have to check
Twitter
and see.
Will be fine. Music.
No. I mean, no. Elon out here, like, cocaine's very powerful, Mike. You say a lot of stuff when you do cocaine.
Allegedly. I don't want no Elon issues.
Sorry, allegedly. Allegedly, if you might partake in those types of things. I mean, you would say strange things at your drop of a dime that you don't mean. Like, you'll get on that shit and you'll be like, you want to know what? Everybody needs to work 70 hours in a week or they can lose their fucking job. Yay. Yeah, that's what it do. But I'm going to say less. Go ahead.
36 Chambers with the super chat says Kendrick should have made Mr. Morale a play or a musical. It would have been a great thing on Broadway. It seems like
Mike
he
been
wrote
saying
it
that.
for that medium, not rap.
Mike been saying that. You've been saying that.
Yeah,
I think we both said that. I was like, I believe when we did the review, I told you, Mike, if this, I was like, he's gonna have to make this into a play to make it work, and I meant that. What's his name?
I
Ben
mean,
Devlin.
definitely. I think that it could have been on stage in that way, but I think that he also felt that, like you said, he had the ability to change course of what was going on in hip hop, and he has been able to do that the last couple of times he came out.
He's the editor and he's an artist. Ben Devlin. Yep, it's BM.
You said he's an artist?
Yeah, it says editor at Music OMH, resident artist at PBADTC.
Okay.
And the Twitter is BMD, all capital, BMD capital, VLN lowercase. That's Ben. Hey, Ben's very white. I want to tell you right now, he's looking very white.
I'm still looking to see who else is reviewing this album.
It definitely look like some tacky ass khakis, flannel shirt.
Jadarian with the super chat says
it looks like Green Day wore in 1993.
Not Green Day.
Definitely white.
Jadarian with the super chat
Ben
says
from Owen in the metric.
Jadarian says don't use Hotep as a slur. It's anti-African. I agree.
Africans don't like us. I'm gonna do what I want.
I agree. Hotep shouldn't be a slur.
You don't like it? Pull up. No, I'm sick of like we protecting. No, we protecting the African culture. Do you know most Africans here don't even like us or respect us? Like, nigga, please, like, pull up on me. I ain't playing that shit no more. I'm gonna say what I want. It's a free country. Tell all
like
the
Jadarian, man. Jadarian
like
is spam. Oh, you tripping. Jadarian's spam. He's cool.
No, I know Jadarian's fan, but it's like, no, I mean that shit. It's like, don't nobody want to hear no Hotep music. It's like you from Compton.
Hotep shouldn't be a slur. I feel that, but
it's not a slur. I'm just saying. It's
I
like
don't think that this is Hotep. I don't know what this is.
A Hotep two-step, Mike.
I don't know what this is. Mark Arthur with the super chat says KD trilogy may prove to be the greatest 3-album run in history. I just listened to KD 2, and it still slaps. I think
that might be a stretch about greatest 3-album run.
I wouldn't say best 3-album run, but I would say in a 2.5-year period, it's probably one of the more impressive 4-album runs. Let's see. Yeah, man, I think we pretty much checked off everything, man. Is there a couple of other things that we need to check off on today's episode? Because I think we've kind of gotten our verse of the year stuff down. We got our albums jotted down, at least the top 10. This is a very heavy year when you look at these albums. This is quality material.
It's quality, but it's nothing great really outside of KD3. It may be sold separately on a good day. Like,
I think sold separately is going to go down. It's going to go down as a very quality. It's going to go down as a quality album in his catalog specifically.
It is. No. Like I said, I mean, for me so far, KD3. No, Hotep does not necessarily. The equivalency of Hotep is not righteous, but whatever. Okay.
What were you going to say about KD3?
KD3 and Soul Separately are clearly the standouts this year, but there's some distance between 1 and 2. But that's how I feel like this year is going to be remembered so far, unless somebody pulls up and changes our mind. I feel like Cole's mic performance for features and KD3 mic performance by Nas, mic performance by Black Thought on Cheat Codes, mic performance by Lupe, Black Star. So we got some great mic performances.
Right.
But I think we have greater mic performances than albums, maybe. Because I think KD3 and Soul Separately is the only place where it's like the rhymes and the beats and the life actually meet and give you something great.
Right.
Like great in one place and potentially classic in another.
No Fear of Time, man, is such a dope album and conceptually, and I wish more people had access to it, right? But I think that when we start hearing an album that came through the speakers greater, then we're like, okay, well, we need to put No Fear of Time in context. But I think, like you said, we were more impressed by the mic performances, specifically from Talib. And I think the production was very it was very forward thinking. I feel like No Fear of Time, and I still stand on that. It sounds like what music could sound like some years from now. And I
Hey,
feel the
Mike,
same way about KD3.
me too. I want to tell you something funny. Somebody just sent me that Rosenberg and what's his name, the comedian guy, the dudes that did the Magic review.
Mm-hmm.
They started their King's Disease 3 album review. Guess when they started it, Mike?
When we start our show?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep. They've been going for about three. Yeah, they did their show 3 hours ago.
Oh, okay. How'd
Yeah,
it go?
It's kind of fascinating how they waited for us to start before they started. It's very fascinating because we're actually a couple of minutes ahead of them.
Well, I'm gonna go check it out since I'm sure they checked out ours too. So
I'm gonna go check it out too. Because I don't think they understand that it's like we can pull up at the drop of a dime on you niggas anyway. So it's like you need to watch what you say anyway. But it's gonna be fascinating to see what they're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Arthur with the super chat says, this show is dope. It's such a breath of fresh air in the rap media. Appreciate that, man. This show is about the people, you know what I'm saying? And I think that nobody has conversations with the people in real time like they should. I mean, that's what it's about. Because we're trying to actually really do our yearbook some justice this year and get everybody's input. Because if we document this thing in a way where everybody is at a general consensus, I think that that breeds a lot of accuracy other than just me and Coop coming up with everything. You know what I mean? Mad Max with the super chat says, sidebar, is my 3-letter man voice seeing a bunch of 18 to 26-year-olds on YouTube reviewing KD3. So 21 can do some for me. Zip up, because you don't know nothing. I don't know, man. It feels like somebody sent 21 to say that, man. I don't know. It's really weird. He said he meant no disrespect, but people know what irrelevant means. Where is saying somebody is not relevant respectful? Oh. Shiesty third.
You get what I'm saying, but this is how sensitive we are. I can't say hotep, but everybody gets to say nigga. Like, no, you're not about to play those games with me. Right. Right. You're not about to play those games with me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Shiesty says, what's up,
that's
fellas?
all I'm saying, Mike.
Shiesty 30 says, what's up, fellas? I joined late. But make sure y'all go out and run them streams up and continue to support Nas on the greatest to ever touch the mic. I just bought the $125 package. I saw that they had like this gold cassette, CD. Is the vinyl with that too? What all comes with that package? I love it, man. Nas fans are representing, man. And
I'm not sure, but the plug did tell me when you buy those packages like that, it only counts as one sale. So it's better to actually break it up and buy a CD separate, buy the vinyl separate, and buy it all separate. As far as if you want to help like build up the numbers wise, like if your purpose of doing it is to help him build out his numbers, it's actually better to buy it separately because packaging it up, it only gets counted as one. Because it's a bundle package, so it's going to get counted that way.
Right. Leah M with the super chat says that you guys review Dave East's album. We're probably going to get to that on Wednesday. But I listened to it a little bit. I know, Coop, you say you were listening to it too. So, yeah, it was pretty quality. I mean, Dave East is consistent.
We need to pull up about Rich Homie Quan's album, Roddy Ricch's album, and Dave East's album. We'll probably do that
I wasn't feeling Roddy Ricch's album, man. I wasn't. And, not that it was bad, but it was just, it was the same stuff to me.
I'm going to tell you what, you just said the same thing my 15-year-old daughter said, and so we kind of maybe need to unpack that. The fact that, my 40-year-old co-host and my 15-year-old daughter are saying the same thing about a rap album from an artist who's supposed to be running the city. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. I like Roddy, but yeah.
I do too. Yeah. It doesn't change Mike, I like Kendrick. People think I don't like Kendrick. You know that I like Kendrick because
you had Kendrick in the top 10 all time.
And you watched... Mike, I looked at a manager while I was a manager and I had some clout. I looked at the one person that could tell me no, and I looked at him one time and I said, Kendrick's about to be up the street in 2 hours and I'm going. And if you don't let me go, I ain't working here no more. Right.
Nah, we know you're a Kendrick fan. Well, at least I know.
And so when I am talking about how I feel about this album, understand I'm talking about how I feel about this album,
But you
not
know what?
about
Hold on. Let me
Kendrick.
rewind. Let me rewind real quick because I think a lot of people they got onto the platform when you and I were talking about like, where's Kendrick? Is he dropping
Right.
anything? And
They
so
weren't there
it
before to
kind
see
of
my
yeah,
articles.
it kind of
Right.
breed it kind of it was more so me than you, but it kind of bred like some sort of negative energy, I guess a Kendrick fan would feel, but it's just the honest truth. You can't take breaks like this in hip hop, especially today. You just can't. It's never worked
Well,
out for anybody.
well
Nobody's ever, no MC. I guess we could look at Dr. Dre, but he really didn't take a break either because we're going to have to start being real about things. The Aftermath album is an actual album. It actually happened.
and that's
So
1997.
it is. So that's 90, what? That's 92 to 97? Okay. He's a producer, whatever. But as far as an MC, being a prominent MC in your time and in your prime, you can't take 5 year breaks in hip hop. You can't. And this is proving it. Now,
Here's
obviously, the Grammys are going to award him, but y'all know what it is.
here's how I look at it, and here's the best comp and chance for him. First of all, if you don't think that I like Kendrick, go to accordingtohiphop.com and go look at an article that I actually wrote after Damn that said if he continues on this pace, there's no way we can keep him out of the top 10. Go pull that up. You can pull it up. You can literally pull up Ahmad Cooper and pull up Kendrick Lamar Damn, and it'll pull up for you.
Yeah, pull up. Just Google Kendrick Lamar Damn according to hip hop.
Right.
That
And
article will come up.
so that's there. But to this, Mike, and this is what
Let
I
me
mean.
test
Well,
that
I
theory.
don't like him, but I don't like this album. If Nas is the greatest MC of all time and he took a 5 year break, Mike, and in between that break, he did the Nas album done for DJ Khaled. You remember that record?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, fire. He did Echo for Swiss Beats.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he came out with Nasir. Now, Nasir is a solid project, but it's not brilliant by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But he had been gone for 5 years outside of doing some guest appearances here and there. The guest appearances are better than Nasir. Like, Echo's better than everything on Nasir to me.
Oh, I see your review right here. Yeah. If you Google those things, you'll see the review.
Right, the review still exists. It's still there. We didn't get rid of it.
No.
And so when I'm saying I like
can
him,
I read a little bit of it? If you do, you mind?
I would, so people would stop think that I'm hating on this man when I've sung his praises for so long.
It's right here. I don't know if y'all can see it or whatever. You know.
Bring it down a little bit. Bring it a little down a little bit. People couldn't see it. Bring it down. Bring it down.
Bring it up.
Down. Not up. Down.
Oh no, I think you're looking on a different camera than the people are.
I probably am. I'm tripping.
Okay. So, Kendrick Lamar Damn Review by Ahmad Cooper. This is April 19th, 2017. As a self-professed hip-hop head, I've heard countless songs, bought countless CDs, and battled countless others over what real hip-hop is. I'm a fan of the 80s hip-hop because that was my childhood, and I'm a fan of the 90s hip-hop because that's the decade I became a man and the best decade for the culture, in my opinion. Let me get down to it. It says, I hear young dudes talking about their favorite rappers. I haven't heard of half of them. And some of the other ones I've heard of, I've laughed at. Let's see. Let me get down to the Kendrick praise. I'm a fan of K-Dot, a.k.a. Kung Fu Kenny, a.k.a. Kendrick L. Duckworth. I admit it. It was hard for me to give this brother his just due. I remember my then 19-year-old cousin telling me about this dude from Compton that was going to be the next great rapper. I owe that cousin an apology now because I figured that he was talking about another one of those little jokers I disregard. I was wrong, though, and I admit to getting to the party late on Kendrick Lamar. But he's a true MC, and his CDs could have proudly occupied shelf space in the hip-hop legends of any era. Where's the top 10 talk? He's just going down the tracks, praising the album. And no, I think it's another article where you were talking about Kendrick being top 10. I wasn't even thinking about
I've sung his
article.
praises so many times. That's what I mean. It's like the one time he makes a bad piece of product and actually speak about it and honestly like can't handle it. It's like, well, if you were actually following According to Hip Hop before we went live with this podcast, you would know I've been singing this man's praises privately, publicly.
You have.
Like, Mike, when To Pimp a Butterfly came out, I had friends that were throwing a house party, and I literally showed up because I called a friend. I'm like, yo, are y'all still there? Y'all still kicking it? She's like, everybody's sitting around and we're listening to Kendrick and getting fucked up and talking about the album. You gotta come.
That sounds like fun.
It was.
CJ Kid.
And it was like that.
CJ Kid says, still need to learn how to be ready to pull up and box at any time like Coop. How do you do it mentally? LOL. Just got to be ready. 36 Chambers with the super chat says 21 Instagram comments flooded with Nas fans. Good. El Amin says, heard a lot of good rap over the past few years. Still not one rap album better than No Dope on Sundays. I like that. I mean, I like No Dope on Sundays. I'm more of a Black History fan, but...
Fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, he comes to the bar. Saha might have the freestyle of the year. Actually, speaking of which. Mad Max to the super chat says, Roddy was mid. All right, well, there it is. Mad Max, our younger constituent here, concurs.
Can I finish this to say that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wrap it up so we can go ahead and get out of here too.
Yeah.
Well, if Nas is the greatest MC of all time and he took a 5-year break, and what we got was Nasir, well, this is why I was saying that you shouldn't take the 5-year break, and while we were saying the things that we were saying, because we were concerned about how the quality of the material would sound.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of the material is not there. Now, Nasir isn't Nas's best effort either, but look how he came back after he got his win. And so what I would tell you is that I hope you got your win.
This is the article I was looking for. It's not like
it's over. It's only over if he makes it over. He's supposed to catch his wind after this. And he's not the first great MC to make a bad album. He's just the first all-time great MC to make a bad album that we've had to cover publicly. And so it looks like I have some sort of personal issue. There is no personal issue. Don't know him personally. Unlike most of these rappers who I have talked about, Mike, never met him personally either. So literally have nothing personal to go off of. It's about the music. It's been all-time great, and then it went to this, which is not that.
Well, Coop, this is the article I was thinking about. This is the one I want people to read. I know they probably can't see it. But it says, reasons why Kendrick Lamar should be a top 10 MC all time. Written by Ahmad Cooper. This is June 16th, 2019. Said the thing about Kendrick Lamar that makes him great is actually very similar to what made the late great Notorious B.I.G. great. He's not the clear-cut best at anything, but he's in the conversation of the best of every aspect of the MC craft. Is he Rakim, Nas, or Black Thought lyrically? No, but he's damn close. Close enough, damn it. Delivery-wise, Biggie, Jay, Meth, Pac, 3000. He's right there. Not ahead necessarily, but right there. Storytelling-wise, he's on par with Kendrick Lamar. He's on par with Slick Rick, Scarface, Biggie, Ice Cube, Nas, Ghostface. How much a dollar costs? Now Duckworth. Whoa, he's in rare air right there. Duckworth is 89 Slick Rick. It's 96 what's left over of Nasty Nas on It Was Written. Damn. Song concepts, 3000. Nas, the artist formerly known as Kanye. He's right there. Don't you get it yet? That boy good. All-time great good. And he goes on and on to sing his praises.
It's a whole article singing his praises, right?
Yeah. No, you wrote this.
Yeah, I did. I sung his praises countless times. I was in Cali the summer after the first joint. The
Good Kid, Mad City, or are you talking about Section 80?
No. I was in Cali when Section 80. Like, I pulled up the summer that had dropped. Like, shit was crazy out there. I remember.
It said he ends it off, or you end it off with, he's clearly the best MC of the last 10 years, and he's top 10 ever. He's that damn good. And if he's not in your top 10, I ask you, do you like Tribe? Do like Tribe said and check the rhyme. Excuse me. I should put this. I think
you might want to put that back up so people stop saying, wait, is there any way you can put this on our YouTube page, Mike?
I'll put this article on YouTube. We'll do that. Jay Shore with the super chat says, would the KD series have been as impactful as a double album? Where would it rank all time? I don't like double albums because I don't think that each album's able to be appreciated properly. So I like them sold separately. So I think, as far as impact wise, no, I think it's better this way, in my opinion.
I agree.
Michael Williams says, "Do you hear that Hit Boy said that he had to convince Nas to keep Beef on the album? Imagine if they didn't make that. If that didn't make that album. LOL. Thank God for Hit. Yeah, that's what a producer does, and I think that was great work for him doing that." Ethan Hill says, "Coop, you called him a fraud. You called Kendrick Lamar a fraud." Well,
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's like, what the fuck does that? It's like, yeah, I said it because there have been fraudulent things going on. It's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? It's like people don't want to deal with the truth.
CJ Kidd said, "Who's producer of the year?" Hit Boy is right now.
Hit Boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Hit Boy. Anybody think anything different?
Like KD3 is like 17 songs, but there's like 28 beats.
Yeah.
Hit Boy.
Yeah, it's Hit Boy.
It's Hit Boy.
Let's get up out of here, man. We'll connect on tomorrow and all that stuff, man. But great show.
Yeah.
Still looking for reviews out here. We'll talk about what we're gonna be doing Monday, but enjoy your show tonight, man. Shit, holler at me, and you know what I'm saying. I'll chime in on that thing. We got Purple Tape Fridays.
Yeah.
On Sound, Station Head. I say Sound Head. Station Head. You gonna do it from your broadcast booth? Let people know where it's at.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna be under my handle, Colin Damar. A lot of people think that is like some fancy name I created. My name is Armad Colin Damar Cooper. Colin Damar are my two middle names, and so it's gonna be under my names. Colin Damar, the same thing that I'm under in the chat. The same thing that I'm under on Instagram, the same thing that if you were to pull me up on Twitter, you could find me under Colin _ Damar. We're going to pull up the station head and just have, some hip hop music and some love. It's Friday night. I'm going to go pick my daughter up from work at 10:30, park it back at the house, and we're going to turn up and play shit. You know what I mean?
There it is, man.
Simple. It's motion. It's for the love of hip hop. I love this. I love having Station Head as a platform for us to just kick it out, because I'll tell you what. Here's what I mean is like I'm sick of talking about things. I'm ready for action, Mike. It's like, well, I'm tired of complaining about radio. So we have a platform where we can do our own radio. So we're gonna do it. Right. So we're gonna do it. It's like, don't talk about it, change it if you're in position to. And we're gonna have some new artists coming that I'm gonna be putting up on Station Head, like my man Loose Screw, my man Half. Shout out to Sade. Me and Sade is gonna be pulling up on people real soon and doing interviews. And according to hip hop, we're growing and branding and doing all the things. Yeah.
And shout out to everybody who has been tagging me in that, I guess, that Eminem parody video.
Right. That was hilarious. I'm the one that tagged you first, but it was hilarious.
I mean, is it inaccurate?
I'm going to say less, Mike.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. We're going to holler at y'all next week.